Happy first day of summer to those who celebrate. It is an absolute picture-perfect day here in Spearfish, South Dakota, where it is game 2 of this long homestand for your Spearfish Sasquatch, and they'll be hosting the Oahe Zap. Welcome, everyone, to the press box. My name is Stephen Hogenkamp, joined today by Evan Epstein, the voice of the Oahe Zap. And, Evan, we saw last night, big win for the Zap, breaking that 11-game losing streak. Got to feel good to get that win under the belt. But the question is, what did you see in that game last night, and how can they utilize that momentum into today's game?
You know, it was a complete game from the Zap last night. On the pitching man, Nathan Palacios getting the start. A bends but not break outing from him, going 106 pitches in just 4 innings, giving up a run in the second, 2 runs in the third, but minimizing the damage in both of those innings, leaving multiple runners stranded. Jacob Skinner coming on in the 5th. He gave up 2 runs, once again leaves a runner stranded at third. The Zap picking up with the bats early on, 3 runs in the first. That's something that they didn't do in the first 2 games back at Hyde Stadium. Didn't score until the 8th inning. Mike Monham, a huge game, clutch hits in the 7th and 8th innings. The one in the 7th cut it to a 1-run deficit, and his 2-run single in the 8th extended the Zap lead to 3. And you gotta mention Tyler Hoffman reaching in all 5 of his plate appearances, 3 for 3, an RBI single back in the first, and a couple of walks to go along with it. Zap, a good night at the plate. They look to keep it going here tonight.
Yeah, all really unraveled for the Sasquatch, and the Zap capitalized on those mistakes, and they're going to look to bounce back today. And this is we're getting close to the end of this first half where it's almost basically wrapped up in terms of standings with the Casper Spuds way out ahead. But that doesn't matter in the ILB. It's anyone's game in that second half, regardless of what happens that first half. So what do you think the Zap can do to carry this momentum also into that second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's continuing to take it one game at a time, right? The 11-game losing streak is now behind them. You have a win last night. Like you said, it's anyone's game. The Casper Spuds have a fantastic lineup. They've been dominating here in the first half. But the Zap have played competitive games with all 3 of the Sasquatch, the Moo, and the Sodbusters. So listen, one game at a time. We're very close to starting the second half of the season. And what would you say on the other side of the ball for the Sasquatch?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to that back-end bullpen. They have some guys in Elijah Bobo and Aiden Torpy, but they got to get some reliable arms. One of the arms that you'll see today in Easton Brooks should be his last start with the Sasquatch. Is he's expecting to depart after this first half. They really need to count on some guys to step it up with the consistency, the throwing strikes. The bats have been there. We've seen this offense catch fire, especially also when they've trailed in games. Never count any team in this ILB out, but it's got to come from that pitching, especially that back half of the bullpen. But it should be a great game today, Evan. It's Margaritaville Day here at Black Hills Energy Stadium, hence my lay on my shirt. I'm also filling in for the normal voice of the Sasquatch, Ari Wallace. He's battling a little sickness here. We switched positions today. I'm normally the video production intern. He will take over those duties, running what should be an amazing broadcast, an amazing game. Make sure to stay tuned when we return. Start of this game here at Black Hills Energy Stadium. Sasquatch Zap. Well, after that great rendition of the national anthem, we are just about to get kicked off, ready to go here on this Thursday evening. And we'll first start with the starting lineup for the Oahe Zap. What do you got for us right now on that, Evan?
So Jackson Mix going from second to third. He's leading off. Tyler Hoffman, after his 3-for-3 day, works his way up to the 2 spot in the Zap lineup. Leandro Guevara, who is 3-for-5, will hit third. Jacob Trusner comes in for Vince Palizzi at first, batting cleanup. Mason Lang now behind the dish for the Zap, hits fifth. Buck Snabs back out at short, hitting sixth. Noah Wiggins comes into left field at seventh. Cole Ottersberg out in right field at eighth. And Emiliano Curiel, now continuing to play center field for the Zap, will round out the order in the 9 spot.
And so that's starting 9. We'll take on the starting pitcher for the Sasquatch. It's going to be number 36, Easton Brooks. Brooks this year has some of the best stuff on this starting staff for the Sasquatch, but it's been the walks that have plagued him. 18 of them across 16 and 2/3 innings. And for you math majors out there, that's over 1 an inning. He's got good velocity. He's sat about low 90s, but did go down a little as our baseball ops Blake Bolin told us. He has gotten the weak contact percentage over 70%, but it's got to be the walks. If he can settle in with that fastball, his first pitch strike percentage is just over 50%. You want that close to 70%. So that's going to be a big key for the Sasquatch success here, especially not getting into that bullpen too early in this game.
Yeah, well, he's got a great presence behind the plate in Nolan Ackerman. Ackerman making just his 4th start of the year. But, man, he has been good with base runners, throwing out 3 of 5 runners on their stolen base attempts. So still in the early going for Ackerman behind the plate for the Sasquatch.
And 2 of those caught stealing was back out in Oahe earlier this week. It was just the 2nd game of this homestand for the Sasquatch, but they had a 2-game set with the Zap out in Pierre earlier this week, taking both of those games. But we are set here. Jackson Mix digs in. That first pitch from Brooks, little high, 1-0, 6-10 start, just a little past that 6:05 starting. As mentioned, first day of summer. Got some clouds in the sky, but other than that, a very beautiful day here in Spearfish, South Dakota's Mix cuts on and misses at that.
Yeah, I think the base paths are going to be something to watch today. The Zap just 2 for 4 on their stolen base attempts yesterday. Tyler Hoffman and Emiliano Curiel thrown out trying to steal. Hoffman, however, with 2 steals, so 3 attempts yesterday from the second baseman.
That fastball catches the outer half. You see Ackerman receives that really well. One of the better defensive catchers on this team. He's also had a good bat to start this year. 2nd season with the Sasquatch. 1-2. That one fouled straight back to the fence. 4 pitches, 4 fastballs from Brooks. Saw Mix was a little behind. You think he goes to that off-speed pitch?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Brooks throws a hard fastball, upper 80s into the lower 90s. Mix did seem to time that one up well, just a little bit under it, fouling it back. Brooks can go with any pitch here.
That one, another heater fouled back.
Sometimes for a starting pitcher, continuing to go back to the fastball, that can help him find the zone. As you see, Brooks quickly out ahead on Mix here, 1-2.
Back-to-back 2-strike foul balls for Jackson Mix. 1-2. Pitch from Brooks. Rolled on over to Finn. Takes a funky hop and gets over him. So Jackson Mix with the leadoff runner at edge of the grass, hurting Kyle Finn right there.
Yeah, just like you said, a funky hop. Looks like it perhaps maybe a little bit of topspin off the edge of the infield's grass where it meets the dirt. Kyle Finn stands 6'7", and even he couldn't reach that ball. That'll go down as a base hit for Jackson Mix to lead off the game. So the Zap off to a quick start once again here tonight.
Tyler Hoffman digs in. Hoffman, after last night's game, got his average up to over 400 on the year.
Yeah, now sitting at 405. second on the team behind Leandro Guevara, who sits on deck.
Brooks kicks and deals. Only have seen heaters from him early on, trying to, so you can't think of the movie at the top of my head, Announcing My Presence with Authority. Don't know where that line came from. I know it's from a movie I can picture in my mind, just can't think of the title. But Brooks falling behind early, 2-0. Spins a breaking ball in there for a called strike. The zap yesterday in the top of the first did get those 3 runs, as you mentioned, at the top of the broadcast, but all 3 of those runs coming with 2 outs, and now they got an early runner on, so picking up where they left off in the end.
Yeah, Leandro Guevara, the RBI triple, opened up the scoring as he drove in Aiden Johnson. That run came with 1 out. The second 2 runs coming with 2 outs, a Vince Polizzi RBI double and an RBI single from Tyler Hoffman, who now sits in a 2-2 count.
Back-to-back breaking balls from Brooks. See if he'll triple up on that one. Sends that one down the line. Long run for Brandon Castillo. That will fall fair. Castillo over the wall. Digging for second is Hoffman, and he'll get in there safely. Back-to-back hits for the Zap. Now got 2 in scoring position. And the Sasquatch have yet to record an out.
Well, Tyler Hoffman, who went 3 for 3 with a couple walks yesterday, keeping it going here today. He gets a fastball on the outside portion of the plate, takes it to right field. Castillo, no chance of getting there out in right field. Hoffman digging hard the whole way down the first base line. He had no second thoughts, digging in for second. Now 2 runners in scoring position with no one out here in the top of the first. Zap looking to get out to another first inning lead.
This is the dangerous Leandro Guevara. First pitch in there, called strike.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pitch there from Brooks. Middle to Guevara, but he gets ahead in the count 0-1.
0-1, chopped. Brooks gets it, fielded clean. Little runners mixed up over there. Finn over to second, and the Zap will score. Miscommunication right there. Kyle Finn throwing behind Tyler Hoffman, allowing Jackson Mix to score, and the defensive miscues for the Sasquatch continue here.
Yeah, so Jackson Mix bluffed going home, then he stopped. Tyler Hoffman didn't realize. So Hoffman was down at third as Mix was retreating. As soon as Mix saw that, Mix dashed for home, Finn throwing behind to second. But as soon as Hoffman saw that, he dug into third. So a little bit of a miscue there from Kyle Finn at first. That allows the first run of the game to score for the Zap. They still get the out at first. Runner on third here, 1 out, 1-0 ball game.
Jacob Trusner that steps into the box here. Check swing. No check there. It's 2-0 now. It was lots of going on there. Hoffman took off right away, expecting Mix to go. Easton Brooks didn't look at anyone at third, threw it right to first, and Kyle Finn just assumed, what you're taught there is you got to run that infielder back, run to the middle. Also don't want to throw behind a runner in that situation. That's exactly what he did, as Brooks fires a strike now, 2-1.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation there from Finn. I think the proper move is to take a little bit more time. Your priority is the runner on third coming home. You want to make sure he stays put. At that point, then you go after Hoffman, who should be going into second.
So ground ball over, high throw, but Kyle Finn's able to snag that one out of the sky and tag Trusner out. But Hoffman does come around, so a couple runs here for the Zap in the first.
And so that's what you want to see if you're an Oahe Zap fan. You get runners on second and third, and the Zap put 2 balls in play, aggressive early in the count, making sure they get those runs home. 2 outs for 2 runs, you'll take that every day of the week here in the top of the first.
At first pitch low. This is Mason Lang, the backstop for the Zap today.
And just to touch on for a second, a nice play by Kyle Finn there at first to apply the tag. Errant throw from Daniel Cook. Micah Coleman had a tough day at short yesterday, putting up 3 errors. Now Cook back out there, errant throw, but Finn still makes the play for the second out of the inning.
I can tell you it really helps having a first baseman in that 6-7. Feels like nothing can get over him. We did see Micah Coleman overshoot him last night. Out 1-1, slapped over to third base. Dylan Darnell picks that off the ground. And that'll end the inning, but not before the zap. Strike first blood. They put across 2 runs in this top half. When we return, the Sasquatch coming to the bats.
Spot on teamwork saves me so much time. I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Cut! Now remember, you really hate that back office.
Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot on. It has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Home half of the first, just about to get kicked off and ready. Starting lineup for the Sasquatch, very similar names you see, but not necessarily in the right order. We got Seth Nelson leading things off for the Sasquatch. Braden Gostisha in the 2-hole, Kyle Finn in the 3-hole, and Mr. Franchise, Ryan Bachman in the cleanup spot. Patrick Rakes, Dylan Darnell, Nolan Ackerman, Danny Cook, and Ben Green rounding off. Very interesting to see Ben Green in that 9-hole. Brandon Gustisha in that 2-hole. Trying to get Gustisha going here. I'll take on number 22, Brady Glenn. We'll get your word on that, Evan. But right now, what do we got from Brady Glenn going in today's game?
Yeah, so Glenn's had an up and down year to start the summer. This is his 6th start. In his first 5 starts, 24 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 24 runs. However, 23 of them have come over 3 of those outings. So in 2 outings, giving up just 1 run over 10 innings, that run unearned. Now, Glenn has already faced the Sasquatch so far this year. As it looks like that one might have clipped Nelson. Unclear if that was a foul ball.
They're going to say it hit his forearm. The umpires will discuss amongst themselves. Nelson had yesterday off. In the leadoff spot today, his average creeping just almost to 400. And if you could see on your screen, he trying to sell that call over at first. In pain, and they're going to say a foul ball instead for Seth Nelson. So the count will go to 2-1. Nelson not contesting that. I think he knew that got the knob of the bat.
Yeah, and so Brady Glenn did pitch against the Sasquatch back on May 28th at Hyde Stadium. Sasquatch had a good day off of Glenn, who went 5 innings, giving up 13 hits, 7 runs, 6 of those earned. So Glenn looking for some improvement here in his 2nd outing against the Sasquatch.
You can see lots of herky-jerky motion from Glenn. Very difficult to see, especially as a left-hander. Is that one in the dirt? Count will go full. Trying to work that off speed in early. We've seen him spin a couple for a strike. The 3-2. And Seth Nelson smacks that one up the middle, leadoff hit. Little ball don't lie action right there for you, Evan. You know, even though that did hit his bat, that foul ball, just trying to work that pitch count a little more.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see tonight from Glenn. So Glenn's going to need to work his off-speed pitches in there. His fastball sitting in the low 80s. The keys for Glenn, find the corners. He needs to be accurate on the outside and inside portions of the plate. He's the type of pitcher that gets punished when he hangs an off-speed pitch.
So Gastisha will take a strike there. Like Nelson had the day off in last night's affair. Glenn's gonna check in with Nelson. Nelson picking up right where he left off. We also saw him earlier this week against the Zap take a little breather in the first of that 2-game set out in Oahe. See Gastisha, the numbers there. 125 as he rolls that one over. Tyler Hoffman over to second base, and that's the only out they'll get. And Nelson, the lead runner, Gastisha will reach.
Yeah, Gastisha turning over on a pitch on the outside corner. Just a ground ball over to Tyler Hoffman. Hoffman wisely going to second. That was all they would get. Gastisha has some speed going down the line. No chance to turn two there for the Zap.
Will be Kyle Finn. Take that first pitch low, 1-0. Yeah, like you said, Evan, Gastisha out in front of that outer half pitch. You want to let that one get a little deeper, send it into left field instead. Speaking of left field, the left fielder for the Zap, Noah Wiggins, playing very deep, giving Kyle Finn his respect as well in right field. Cole Ottersberg. Both know the power that Kyle Finn possesses.
Yeah, Kyle Finn, a very successful game against Brady Glenn. He was 4 for 4 against Glenn with 2 doubles and an RBI. As you can see early on, Glenn pitching around Finn here, 2-0 count.
Looks like they're going to call a balk on Glenn. Seemed he stepped off. Umpires will confer once again.
And it looks like the field umpire was perhaps pointing back to first. Gastisha staying on second for now. Haberger coming out for an explanation. Glenn stepped off there, so even at that point he can come apart. Perhaps the umpire not seeing that his back foot moved off the mound and thinking that it was a throw over on the motion. Unclear, seemed like perhaps a little bit of a shaky call there. Neither Glenn nor Haberger liking that one. Regardless, now a runner in scoring position.
That 2-0 missing high as well. So 3-0, the count. 3-0. Looked like home play umpire might have been signaling too, but 3-0 the count here. Kyle Finn do have an open base. That will miss, so a 4-pitch walk to Kyle Finn. First free pass from Glenn, and now the Sasquatch have 2 on.
Yeah, with the runner down on second facing the dangerous Kyle Finn in a hitter's count. Not a bad move from Brady Glenn there to pitch around Finn. You put the force play back in order with runners on first and second and 1 man out. Still a dangerous hitter in Bachman at the plate, but a lot less power than Finn.
Normally we see Bachman in that leadoff spot. Today, slotting in the 4-hole. First pitch swinging. Skies it out of play.
Talked about Finn's success against Glenn. Ryan Bachman as well. Bachman was 3 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout back on May 28th when he faced Brady Glenn.
At missing high. 1-1. Bachman averaged up to 355 on the season. But the thing that's more important, at least in his role as normally a leadoff hitter, OBP of 479, just south of 500. He'll take that one.
Well, his 18 walks leads the team. That's what gets you an on-base percentage upwards of 470. Bachman's been off to a very good start. like you said, a new spot in the lineup for him, hitting 4. We'll see how he does with that tonight.
Bachman rolls it over, but right in the 5-6 hole. They're going to send Gastisha home. The throw from Wiggins online, but a little late. And the Sasquatch add 1 here, cutting this deficit in half now, 2-1.
Yeah, not a bad pitch from Brady Glenn there. He got Ryan Bachman to roll over on a ground ball, just no one there on the left side. Noah Wiggins playing very far back in left field, as we mentioned earlier, unable to get the home throw in time. Good job by Mason Lang to block the ball, keeps Kyle Finn at second and Ryan Bachman at first now with 1 man out. Patrick
Rake steps in, another lefty in this Sasquatch order. He'll take a first pitch strike. We had their shortstop, Buck Snabes, playing very far up the middle. Same spot he's in right now, as you could see on your screen. Even that 5-6 hole. Lots of territory to get a hit as Glenn spins a ball in there. 0-2 Rakes now.
Yeah, Rakes a nice night last night. 4 for 6, couple RBIs, up to 364 on the season.
The 0-2. And elevate a heater there. So if your Rakes really trying to let that ball get deep, especially you saw Ryan Bachman slap one into left field, you still got a lot of territory there, as looks like Glenn will catch Rakes looking. 3rd time he's gone down looking in this homestand.
Yeah, a beautiful curveball from Brady Glenn, dropping in on the inside corner of Patrick Rakes. Looks like he was hunting for a fastball there, but a 2-strike count. He's got to be a little bit more defensive at the plate in that situation.
Dylan Darnell now takes a first pitch fastball away. 2 on, 2 out here for the Sasquatch. Already 1 across. Came from a Ryan Bachman RBI single. The Zap put up 2 of their own in the top half. That one in the dirt. Stopped by Mason Lang. Darnell this year, 333 average, but he gets on base over half the times. A 509 OBP. We'll send that one, slapped it past the diving Hoffman into right. They're going to send Finn home from third. The throw over to third. Dylan Darnell tying this game in the bottom half. It is 2-2 now.
Yeah, Kyle Finn got a great jump off of second there. Not much of a chance from Ottersberg out in right field to come home. Ottersberg was trying to throw behind the runner at second in Ryan Bachman to get him, but Buck Stabs was unable to dig it out. It was a nice idea. A throw on target likely would have beat Bachman back to the bag, but instead still a 2-2 ball game now with 2 men out in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Sasquatch still threatening. Catcher Nolan Ackerman steps in, 3 for 6 so far on the season. First pitch missing there, 1-0. It's a valiant effort from Tyler Hoffman. Last 2 balls hit from the Sasquatch, and Bachman and Darnell not hit necessarily too hard, but they found holes. Breaking ball in there. Really see Glenn gain a feel early on for that off-speed pitch. Been able to use it in any count so far.
And you mentioned the ball's not hit very hard. Glenn still looks comfortable on the mound.
Ackerman sends that one very high into center field, but not too deep, as Emiliano Curiel Montijo will make the grab, and that will end the bottom half of the 1st. The Sasquatch get 2 of their own and tie it up 1 complete here at Black Hills Energy Stadium when we return.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Top of the second inning, just getting set to kick off. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Zap, and that'll start with their shortstop, Buck Snabs.
Yeah, Snabs hitting .242 on the season, 1 for 5 last night. That hit coming in the 8th inning, he laid down a bunt, would score a run.
First pitch swinging, and he'll send that one that will drop in front of right fielder Braden Gastisha. So another leadoff runner on for the Zap here.
Yeah, Snabs aggressive there on the first pitch, sees the fastball, that's what he was looking for, doesn't do too much with it. You saw it just like Tyler Hoffman taking it the other way for a leadoff single.
We'll bring up their left fielder, Noah Wiggins, .212 average on the season. So the first 3 leadoff hitters in this game have gotten on. Squares to bunt. That one almost spins fair. Ackerman smartly grabs that one before it gets back into fair territory. Lots of English on that one.
Yeah, it did look like it was coming back towards fair territory. Ackerman wisely noticed and sprinted over to the ball as soon as he saw it starting to creep back to the right. Now an 0-1 count.
The off-speed pitch right there from Brooks. As Wiggins slaps that one down the right field line, but it will slice out of play. So Brooks quickly head 0-2. Had some command issues last inning. Didn't walk anyone, but fell behind some hitters.
Well, we know what Ackerman can do behind the plate, but Snabs does have some speed. 4 for 5 on his attempts, stolen base attempts so far this year.
Wiggins sends that one back to the netting behind home plate. Do it again, 0-2. Brooks, as mentioned, did have some command issues falling behind hitters, but didn't allow any free base paths. So that's definitely something he wants to work on, as he'll get Wiggins to chase that one in the dirt. Looks like the curveball on that one. First strikeout of the game for Easton Brooks.
Yeah, well, Wiggins saw a couple of fastballs there. Brooks then working the curve in off the fast. Wiggins out ahead of that one. It's tough when you have to plan on 89, 90 coming in at you, and then you see 10, 15 miles an hour dropped off on the curve.
We'll start Ottersberg off here with an off-speed pitch. That was the slider, a 4-pitch mix for Easton Brooks. Fastball, slider, curve, changeup. Likes to stick with that fastball. We saw that early on in that first inning. He's sitting just about 89, 92 as he'll check in on Buck Snabs over at first. Ottersberg getting the start out in right field today. Out pitch in there called strike. Brooks finding command with multiple different pitches in this second inning. Seen him go with the off speed. We've seen him go with the heater. Let's see, he'll go with 0-2 Cole Ottersberg. And he'll get him to chase that pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Easton Brooks. Now 1 out away from putting up a scoreless second.
Yeah, looks like Brooks went with the slider there. That one running away from the righty. And Ottersberg, it looks like he was perhaps guessing a little bit on that pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Brooks, 2 outs and a runner on.
Is Emiliano Curiel Montijo will take a first pitch strike. Curiel Montijo is today's beer batter. You know, gotta wonder, Evan, with today being Margaritaville and all, and our snack bar does have some Cayman Jack margaritas, wonder if they'll honor that $2 off in that snack bar. Gotta think so. You know, it's the theme night.
Well, Curiel is a contact hitter at the plate, just 11 strikeouts in 50-plus at-bats on the season. And so you had Hoffman last night as your beer batter, who went 3 for 3 with 2 walks.
Yeah, if I'm a Zap player after last night's game, I want to be the beer batter. Tyler Hoffman, as you mentioned, reaching base 5 times. And I think our own Ari Wall even mentioned last night, don't remember the last time the Sasquatch struck out a beer batter. We've seen a couple after the 7th inning. That one chopped over Finn, but we'll retrieve it.
Looks like
Foul
Finn was
ball.
in foul territory, yeah.
No signal from our home plate umpire yet. I'm going to say foul ball. That's what I thought. I thought it was pretty clear. I do remember, Evan, we had a 4-game set with the Spuds. Might have been a 3-game set, but I'm pretty sure it was a 4-game set, where we had the same beer batter for the entire series. Did not strike out once that entire series.
Would that be Elijah Reeves by chance?
I'm not the best with names, but maybe it is. And there we go. Curiel Montijo strikes out. Everyone go get your beer, your root beer that's also $1 off. Maybe get a little margarita up there. It's a hot one out here today. 3 strikeouts that inning for Easton Brooks. 1.5 complete here when we return. Bottom of the 2nd here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
When you venture to Spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a Spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here.
Danny Cook will start things off for the Sasquatch as they'll bring up 8-9-1. Danny Cook, Ben Green, Seth Nelson. Green off to a good start in his inaugural Sasquatch season. Averaged slightly over 300. Be swinging first pitch and will foul the off-speed from Brady Glenn foul.
So we saw Easton Brooks now settle down in the 2nd inning after giving up 2 in the 1st. Brady Glenn a chance to do the same. Some weak contact back in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Cook sends that one into right center field. It will slice away from Curiel Montijo. Cook can fly, but he'll stop at second base. A leadoff double for Danny Cook.
Well, that one not a softly hit ball. That was ripped out to right center field. Curiel out in center field, perhaps not the best route to the ball as it got by him and went to the wall. Curiel's still fast, though, which keeps Cook at second instead of advancing to third on a triple. But once again, a runner in scoring position now, no one out for the Sasquatch.
This is Ben Green, one of their hottest hitters in that 9-hole. Always love to have that second leadoff hitter that you can rely to turn that batting order over, to give that top of the order some runners on base. And Ben Green, as you see, 368 average, an OBP just south of 500. Like home plate ump was about to call that a strike. But instead, it'll be 2-0 to Ben Green. Seth Nelson on deck. He had a laser up the middle in his first at-bat, and that one also missing away.
Yeah, 3-0 count now from Glenn. He's been going to the outside corner. He's been just missing each time. Hasn't gotten a call yet.
We'll get that one. Comes back 3-1 now. If I'm Glenn, based on what I've seen from him today, wouldn't be surprised if he goes to that off-speed pitch here. So if you're Green, he does, and that one sent into right field. It will get down. They're going to wave Cook home from third base. The throw off the glove of Trusner. Green over to second, and he's in there safely. An RBI single for Ben Green. Sasquatch take the lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a poor throw from Ottersberg out in right field. Cook, a good relay home, would have had Cook by about 20 feet. It was not the best decision to send him home, but however, the throw from Ottersberg in the dirt to Trusner, it looked like he overthrew Hoffman at second, who was perhaps a touch too far out in the outfield. Just Hoffman's second start at second base this year, still settling into the role. Regardless, now the Sasquatch with a 1-run lead.
Seth Nelson will take a first pitch strikeout. And I was very surprised to see head coach Justice Scott over there at third waving Cook home, especially with the top of the order up and no one out.
Yeah, it was an aggressive move. Like I said, I think a good relay throw home likely would have had the runner. Can't blame Trusner there, who was out in the infield's grass. It was a tough pick to make.
Nelson behind 0-2, and that's a backdoor two-seamer that catches it. Nelson voicing his disagreements, but he'll be sent back to the dugout. So first out of the inning, Brady Glenn picks up his second strikeout. Both of them looking. Now Braden Gastisha will step in. Gastisha sends that one a mile high into right field. Ottersberg settles under it, has some trouble, but will make the grab. Ben Green will scamper on over to third, so he does advance, but with 2 outs now.
Well, Gastisha has 1 home run on the year. I think Brady Glenn's lucky that that wasn't 2. Glenn hanging a curveball over the heart of the plate. Gastisha just a little bit under it. Like you said, a mile high into the air, just missing. Nice play by Ottersberg out in right field to settle under that one for the second out of the inning.
Ball will be in the dirt to Kyle Finu. It's balls in play like those that I wish we had StatCast to know the apex of how high that ball reached, because that was very high. The hang time was insane on that, as Finn will send that one to the parking lot here.
And this is an interesting batter now for Brady Glenn, the dangerous Kyle Finn. You have a runner on third, open base at first. How aggressive does Glenn get here with the power hitter?
Finn skies that one into left field, and you can kiss that one goodbye. It's out of sight. Kyle Finn with the 2-run bomb, and the Sasquatch lead 5-2.
Yeah, well, Glenn got away with the pitch to Gastisha. He's not going to get away with that one to Kyle Finn. Another breaking ball that caught too much of the plate. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Kyle Finn hit that one over the scoreboard, the Black Hills Energy Stadium scoreboard out in left field. That ball was crushed off the bat of Finn.
Yeah, Noah Wiggins out in left, took about 2 steps, realized how hard that ball was hit, and just admired how far it went. Now Ryan Bachman will dig in. First pitch will pop that one into shallow right center. Tyler Hoffman settles under it and makes the grab. But the Sasquatch take the lead here, now leading 5-2, capped off by a 2-run homer by Kyle Finn. To complete here when we return. Sasquatch leading here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. On the gridiron or the grill. For touchdown dancers. In the home team. For the extreme or the everyday. Feeling the burn or feeling the love. Monument Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you. Watch out, she's still going.
About Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot on. It has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Third inning just starting here. Sasquatch find themselves leading 5-2. Easton Brooks back out for a third inning, had a very strong second inning, retiring the last three all via the strikeout. This is top of the order, and Jackson Mix as he'll foul that one down the third base line. Second time through now for the Zap. That first inning, they really saw Brooks well. Put together some good at-bats, some hard contact. Don't want him to get settled in, especially with the lead.
Well, yeah, Mix a leadoff single back in the first for the Zap. And so this is a crucial inning now for the Zap, who have fallen into a 5-2 hole. You have the top of the lineup coming back up, both Mix and Hoffman with base hits to start the game. Can they scratch another run or two across the board here in the third?
Gets into chase. That looks like it might have been the changeup on that one. Haven't seen him use that too often. Mostly with lefties, it's just been straight gas. Count evens now, 2-2. Mix had a single and came around to score in the first inning. It was that funky hop that bounced over Kyle Finn at first. 2-2, sent up the middle. Ryan Bachman plays it off the hop. Has trouble with the transfer, but they're going to say Mix is out at first, to the dismay of the Zap dugout team. I don't know. I mean, I think he beat that one out over at first.
Mix was safe over at first. Like you said, Bachman had to charge it a little bit slow off the end of the bat of Mix. Trouble fielding the ball, gets it over to first. It might be the type of play as an umpire you expect coming from second. You kind of just expect it to be an out, but it did look like Mix's foot got on the bag before the ball hit the back of the glove of Kyle Finn.
It looked to me like Ryan Bachman may have overestimated how hard that ball was hit. It was off the end of the bat. He had to wait a couple and then charge it, then had trouble feeling it. Luckily, at least according to the umpire, had a strong enough arm to get over there. This is Tyler Hoffman, who continued his red-hot road trip with a double back in the first. That one in there.
You know, it's funny. It's two sides of the coin. You have the Sasquatch broadcaster, me the Zap guy, and we're watching the same thing over at first, and
we both agree.
Yeah, we did both seem to agree on that one.
You know, it is somewhat difficult, I guess I would say, from our point of view, just being a little farther away. The ump has a better view, but I don't know, as that one skips over Ackerman and almost gets into the press box up here. So Tyler Hoffman will advance over to first. gotta say, I've watched a lot of baseball games in my life, and I've never seen that happen. Must have hit the plate.
It either hit the plate or it hit where the infield, where the dirt meets the grass behind home plate. Took a big hop over the backstop. Not sure exactly how to score that one, but Hoffman reaches on the strikeout.
Our thoughts go out to our baseball ops Blake Bolin for how he's going to score that in our game changer. I guess you could just, you can't give an error to anyone.
Well, it will likely go down as a wild pitch, and the ball goes out of play.
Out of one missing. Andro Guevara inning half a day off today in the DH hole.
Well, Hoffman has now reached on his last 7 plate attempts, despite a strikeout.
When it rains, it pours. You know, some days, some series, everything's just going your way. And for Tyler Hoffman early on, even when he makes a mistake, he gets rewarded from it. 1-2 from Brooks. Guevara skies that one center field, but looks like it'll hang up for Ben Green. Guevara's now been retired. His first 2 at-bats. Couple outs now. Jacob Trusner will step in now. Grounded out in the top half of the first to Danny Cook.
Yeah, productive at bat though. Trusner picking up an RBI on the play, second run of the first inning for the Zap. Trusner, as mentioned in the pregame show, a home run in his last game against the Sasquatch. That one coming in the 8th inning back at Hyde Stadium. A deep shot over left center, clearing the wall by, I'd say, a good 20 to 30 feet.
Looks like Hoffman will get back in there safely. Yeah, if you want to see a game with a lot of home runs, tune into any game that's out there in Fremont. It is a very short porch out there in left field. I want to say a little less than 300 feet. It is very crazy when at least, watching Sasquatch games when they went up there, everyone was hitting one out.
Yeah, it's 290 out to left field. It's about a 25-foot high wall, but the wind always seems to be blowing out towards left field, which further helps the hitters there in Fremont.
0-2, Brooks ahead on Trusner. Running is Hoffman, and that ball will get away. It'll be a stolen base for Hoffman. Ackerman unable to get in front of that, trying to pick it with the runner in motion. So now a single could score Hoffman from second. Trusner trying to pick up his second RBI on the evening. That one misses.
Yeah, and the reason you go on that pitch with 2 strikes and 2 outs, you have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters up here for the Zap. Even if Hoffman's thrown out stealing, then you have Trusner, Lang, and Snabs coming up the next inning. Not the end of the world.
The 2-2. He'll send that one into left center field. It doesn't look like Riggs will get that. He won't. It'll be an RBI double, it looks like, for Trusner. Green will get that one in. Cutting the deficit now down to 2. 5-3 Sasquatch lead after the double.
Well, and Jacob Trusner is showing you why he takes so much playing time, even from Vince Polizzi, who has 6 home runs on the season. Trusner has been hitting the ball hard as of late, taking a pitch over the middle of the plate over into the left field gap, driving in Tyler Hoffman. So like we said, as this was an important inning, top of the lineup for the Zap. Now they have 1 across, just a 2-run deficit. It's important for the Zap to hit throughout the game. They had about a 6-inning stretch last night between the 2nd to 6th inning where they didn't score a run.
That one in there to Mason Lang. Yeah, I was going to point that out in the bottom half of the second. If you're the Zap going down 5-2, they were down last game and fought back. It's important for both teams to never let up because everyone's always in it. Lang laces that ball, but will hook foul. Now was looking back on that hit from Trusner. Really did a good job getting his hands out in front. It was low and in, and shot his barrel through the zone to pick up that fastball and able to stretch a double into it. The 0-2 from Brooks. That one in the dirt. Ackerman keeps it in front. Trusner thought about getting over to third, but doesn't.
Garrett Bergman beginning to stretch in the Oahe Zap bullpen. He was using an airbag out there when Paul Skeens went viral using that one. A lot of the Zap pitchers like to warm up and stretch with that.
1-2 now. Brooks spikes out one. And I don't necessarily know exactly what an airbag is. I know here the Sasquatch players, I don't know the specific name of it. It's like a long tube, I would say about 3-4 feet with water in it, water bag, as our baseball ops Blake Bolin mentions. He is a former, as we shout him out, a former collegiate pitcher.
Yeah, airbag was in no means a formal term out there. I'm just describing what I'm seeing. Couple of really good takes here from Mason Lang now at the plate. He's run a full count. You know, some of the Zap hitters have struggled with the off-speed pitches from Brooks, but Lang's done a good job to stay in this count.
Something's got to give. Here's the 3-2. Rolled on over. Finn flips it over to Brooks, who does a nice job fielding his position. One across for the Zap, inching their way closer. It is 5-3 when we return here in the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube. Patrick Rakes leading things off here in the bottom half of the third for the Sasquatch, leading this game 5-3. We have only seen one half inning of scoreless baseball so far, so if you like offense, continue watching this broadcast.
Yeah, Brady Glenn, despite giving up 5 runs, just 41 pitches through 2 innings. A lot of hard hit balls back in the second, though.
Second pitch missing, 1-1 now to Rakes. Rakes went down looking. And his lone plate appearance is that one. Fouled over the top of our press box. Rakes coming into his game, average north of 300. And a consistent bat in this offense.
Yeah, there's really nowhere for Glenn to turn with this lineup, as 8 of the 9 hitters for the Sasquatch hitting over 300 on the season. The lone hitter not hitting 300, Braden Gastisha, which is a little interesting that he's hitting up in the 2 spot tonight.
And we'll get Rakes to swing and miss at that one. Went to that devastating breaking ball. Second time he's fanned Rakes, 3rd overall for Brady Glenn. Dylan Darnell will step in. Darnell delivered a RBI single to tie the game up in the first. Was just a little ground ball in that 3-4 hole. You mentioned the lineup, Evan, and when I saw this lineup, I said, like, this is a really good line. This is a lineup that can really do damage against lots of different teams because there's lots of depth in it.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Sasquatch as a whole hitting over 290, one of just two teams in the Independence League, along with the Casper Spuds.
Darnell skies that one into left field. That's got good carry on it. Back at the wall is as Wiggins, and that one is out of sight. Dylan Darnell sends it over the wall, and it is 6-3 Sasquatch.
Yeah, Darnell turning on that one. A line drive. Wasn't sure if that one had the distance a little bit closer, but just clearing the wall over the Lamb painting sign out there in left field. Already 2 home runs tonight here for the Sasquatch. It's not necessarily a hitter-friendly ballpark, but the Sasquatch are making it one tonight.
That would have had to be probably the closest home run we've had this year. We got a sign out there with a little circular netting. If ball goes in there, a lucky fan will receive season tickets to next year's Sasquatch season. That one came very close to making contact with the sign.
You may as well offer fans $1 million. There's not a ball going in that little circle out there in left field.
It is a very small circle. I want to say maybe about a foot in diameter as Ackerman pops that one into shallow right field. Tyler Hoffman will retire Ackerman there.
Not the end of the world, though, if you're Brady Glenn. Just a solo shot here in the third. So that really wipes out the run that you put across back in the top of the third. Still a 3-run ball game, though. Now just 6-3. Glenn settling back in quite nicely, getting Ackerman to pop up to shallow right field.
This is Danny Cook stepping in. I love when Danny Cook comes to the plate here in Black Hills Energy Stadium because there's always one Sasquatch player doing the Jack Sparrow trot to his song. We saw Bachman doing it as he won't get a hit here as Cole Ottersberg will retire him there, but not before another run added to the scoreboard for the Sasquatch off the bat of Dylan Darnall. Couple hits for him, 3 complete, 6-3, Sasquatch leading here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
For the newest games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
Macerones, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Take your sports wagering experience to the next level at Bet Lodge Sportsbook, the premier sports betting venue in South Dakota. Surrounded by luxury seating, our massive 42-foot seamless video wall is the largest in the area, displaying all of your favorite NFL and college football. Place your bets with our sports desk personnel or visit our easy-to-use betting kiosk 24 hours a day. The best place to touch down and catch the game is at Bet Lodge Sportsbook, located inside the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
Top of the fourth here, set to kick off. Buck Snabs leading things off. Snabs led off in the second inning with the first pitch single. We'll see if he has the same aggressive mentality against Easton Brooks here.
Good take there from Snabs, just below the zone. Want to know, you know, first pitch, you're looking for a fastball in all likelihood, but getting that one a bit low.
That one missing low, 2-0 now.
Buck Snabs a leadoff single back in the second inning. He would be stranded as Brooks struck out the next 3 hitters in the second. Now his second at-bat of the night.
That one misses, so Brooks falling behind 3-0 to Snabs here. Only gone 3-0 to 1 batter. The last one last inning in Mason Lang. That one will miss as well. So first free pass issued by Easton Brooks. Mentioned in the top of the broadcast. That's been a trouble of his, but luckily just first one allowed right now.
Yeah, that last pitch didn't miss by much. Snabs turning away from that one just off the inside corner. So that'll be something to watch. Brooks, as we mentioned, more than 1 walk per inning coming into the ballgame. Gives Snabs a free pass on 4 pitches. Will he refine the strike zone against Noah Wiggins?
That first one in there. Much needed strikeout that Wiggins disagreed with, as well as the Zap bench.
Yeah, interesting to see. Brooks, after a 4-pitch walks, goes to the off-speed pitch to try and regain the strike zone, which allegedly did.
That one chopped over. Darnell fields it over to Bachman, almost throws it away, and it does get away from him into right field. Advancing to second and third are the runners. A costly error. Dylan Darnell, the Sasquatch third baseman, just still continuing to have their issues over there.
Yeah, like you said, a costly error there from Darnell. They would have likely had just 1 out at second. Wiggins gets down the line well, but the ball going out to right field, so Buck Snabs gets over to third. Wiggins goes to second, and the ball actually getting by Darnell once again at third on the throw coming in. That one going up against the fencing in front of the Zap bullpen, so the runners stay put, second and third, no one out.
Brooks starts out Ottersburg with a strike. The Sasquatch had 4 errors last night. They were pretty clean to start out these first 3 innings. But now an error right there from Darnell over at third. See how much it proves costly. Ottersburg squares to bunt, gets it down in front of Brooks, but not the spot he wants, as no one is able to advance, and Ottersburg is thrown out.
Yeah, that one just a little bit too directly at Easton Brooks, up the middle, a little bit of pace on it, so Buck Snabs can't get home at that one. I think it's a wise decision by Snabs and Haberger to keep him put at third. Still just 1 out. Curiel, a good contact hitter. A ball on the ground, still scores a run here.
Infield back for the Sasquatch, leading by 3 here in the 4th. Curiel Montijo fouls that one off. Good crowd out here at Black Hills Energy Stadium. Also got a couple softball teams in attendance, the Spearfish Royals as well as the Colorado Rockettes have made the trip to watch tonight's game. Looks like that Curiel Montijo went around, quickly falling behind 0-2. He was one of the 3 strikeouts in the second inning.
This is a really important at-bat for the Zap here with 1 out, runners on second and third. Curiel's got to find a way to put this ball in play.
The 0-2 fouled straight back. If you hear in the broadcast, lots of energy, especially when Emiliano Curiel Montijo comes up to the plate. As mentioned earlier, he is tonight's beer batter. The Sasquatch fans were able to get $2 off beer in the second inning after his strikeout. The 0-2. That one low. Really good take from Curiel Montijo.
Yeah, that one looked like a slider moving off the outside corner. As you said, such an impressive take in an 0-2 count. It's easy to chase that one out of the zone.
See if he'll go back to it to get a chase. The 1-2 spikes. That one, count will now even 2-2. Good stop from Nolan Ackerman. We mentioned how important he's been to this pitching staff, especially in the run game. Sasquatch fans get a little louder here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on for the Zap. The pitch cut on and miss. A big strikeout for Easton Brooks. A big strikeout for the Sasquatch fans. They get $2 off beer this next inning.
Well, if you're the Zap, you had runners at second and third with no one out, now 2 outs. You got to figure out a way to bring at least a run home this inning. Jackson Mix, the leadoff hitter, stepping back in. Mix now 1 for 2 on the day, grounded out to second on what was 50-50 play at first.
That first one missing. Mix, though he was retired in the third, has put up a couple good at-bats, had a couple 2 straight foul balls in the first inning, resulted in a hit, and went 5 pitches in the third. Head in the count 1-0. Off-speed pitch doesn't catch the outer half.
That's a really good slider from Easton Brooks, trying to get it on the back door of the lefty Jackson Mix. Just missing on that one. If you're Brooks, you do have a bag to put Mix at first, but you have the red-hot Tyler Hoffman on deck, so he's gotta pitch carefully here.
Ball ground up the middle. It's going to be a tough play. Tough hop over there from Cook. Throw is wide, and both runners will score. Reaching safely is Mix, and both Snabes and Wiggins will come around.
Yeah, just an errant throw there from Daniel Cook. You know, it hopped up on him. That takes him a little bit of extra time. Not sure if he would have got Mix had the throw been on target, but you still got to make sure, even if you take that extra split second, that your throw is there at first because it goes away. That allows the extra run to score. Now 2 in here for the Oahe Zap, as it's just a 1-run game, so a key play there here in the top of the 4th.
So another tough hop for a Sasquatch infielder. We saw in the first, Mix reached on a ball that kicked over Kyle Finn, and that one almost ate up Danny Cook, but had to have thrown off the rhythm and momentum he had going towards first. Nonetheless, a 6-5 game now. That one in there.
Well, Hoffman looking to keep quite the impressive streak going. Reached in his last 7, despite a strikeout last inning in the third.
Back-to-back pitches, catch the zone for Brooks. Still only had 1 scoreless inning in this game. It was the top half of the second, where Easton Brooks struck out 3 Zap hitters. 6-5, top half of the 4th. That one low. Another good take from a Zap hitter.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like Hoffman is sitting off speed this at bat. He took the first 2 pitches on the outside corner for strikes. He looked much more intent on that one, a breaking ball that dipped beneath the zone.
Brooks is low in the dirt on that one. Now we'll go 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mix over there. First we saw Zap press the issue with a attempted stolen base with 2 outs earlier this game. Out one misses.
Well, Mix will be going now on the 3-2, but I was just about to say Mix doesn't have a stolen base attempt on the season. Wouldn't expect him to be going, but 3-2, 2 outs, that will set him in motion.
Ryan Bachman up the middle, shading Pole's side. Almost have 3 infielders on that left side. The 3-2 from Brooks. Off speed, rolled over. Darnell fields it cleanly. The throw on in time to first base, but not before 2 more runs put across for the Zap. Should be a back and forth game for the rest of this night, first day of summer. The sun not expected to set till about 9 p.m., so should have a lot of light to play in this one. 3.5 complete here when we return here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
About Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot on has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Bottom half of this fourth inning, 9-1-2 due up for the Sasquatch, but they'll be facing a new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be number 15, Garrett Bergman. Green squares to bunt, but that one will go foul.
Yeah, Garrett Bergman coming on in just the bottom of the fourth inning. Brady Glenn hit a little bit tough, a lot of hard hit balls over the course of the first 3 innings. Bergman out of Iowa Lakes Community College. He will be transferring to Clark this coming fall. He's thrown 13 1/3 innings so far this year, giving up 17 hits, 10 runs, just 8 of those earned. 14 strikeouts to 8 walks, a pretty good ratio for Bergman, a 5.4 ERA.
First 2 pitches are strikes. First pitch was a foul ball bunt from Ben Green. He's now behind 0-2. Green singled on an off-speed pitch from Brady Glenn back in the second inning that scored Danny Cook from second. 1-2. 1. Could have been called a strike maybe. They're going to say that Green did go around. Green took a little bit to wonder, but Green will go down with the swing there.
That's fascinating. That's a lefty hitter, and they're checking down with the field umpire behind the first base bag. I'm not sure I have much more to add on that, but interesting to check down with the first base umpire. Usually that's a call you see the home plate umpire make.
Yeah, that's why you see in professional baseball or games with more than 2 umps, they're checking with left-handed batters. They're checking third base. It's a much easier view. That view, it's a little easier for the home plate umpire to make.
Yeah, the bat can be obstructed by the hitter for the umpire behind first.
Yeah, you're looking for the bat to pass that front hit bat, front knee. It's a very hard angle, especially Green doesn't have that open of a stance there.
No, he doesn't, and like you said, it's a tough call for the Sasquatch.
Seth Nelson steps in for his third plate appearance. Went down looking in the second inning. The book is closed on Brady Glenn. 3 innings, 7 hits allowed, 6 runs, all of them earned, striking out 3. Did only walk 1, so he was around the zone for the majority of this game. Just 1 free pass. Did almost hit Seth Nelson in that first inning.
Yeah, well, mentioned it at the top of the broadcast about Brady Glenn. doesn't have the hardest fastball. We found out just into the upper 70s there. And when you hang a few curveballs to guys like Dylan Darnall and Kyle Finn, well, they did damage on those pitches.
We'll get Seth Nelson to chase that one. Count will go to 3-2 now. Aiden Gustisha on deck. We'll see if he comes up with a runner on or with no on. Sasquatch have scored in each of the first 3 innings so far. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. That one's up. So Seth Nelson will draw the walk.
Yeah, Bergman, on the other hand, the fastball up into the middle 80s, which is much more standard from what you see around the Independence League.
I don't know if any of you can see from our far high home cam on the broadcast. We got a couple gentlemen out in right center field on top of a loading crate, catching some Thursday evening baseball. Good seat in the house. Out there's a little junkyard. I don't know how to really call what's out there in the outfield beyond the fence. Nelson on the move, and that ball will get away from the hands of Mason Lang. Seth Nelson will have himself a stolen base.
Just about to say there, how much you think those seats cost up there in right center?
That's why they're the best seat in the house, because they are free. So Seth Nelson will swipe the bag there.
5th stolen base on the year for Nelson. He's been caught just once this season.
Gustisha, another high pop-up. It will be Buck Snabes that will make the grab there.
Yeah, that one well up into the air. Snabs had actually falling off before he could make that one. As luckily for him, it looks like some clouds have caught the sun just a touch, so he didn't have to battle the sun too much on that one.
Ball skips away from Lang, but not far enough. And back on Seth Nelson, I remember when the Sasquatch interns, when we went went east to Oahe to catch that game, Seth Nelson doesn't look like he runs as hard, or doesn't look like he would run as hard as he does. He really gets down the line hard.
Yeah, you got to be careful with how you word that one. Yeah, Seth Nelson's a great base runner. Perhaps a little bit of a tough read on that pitch 2 pitches ago that got away from Lang. He would have been able to get to third, but it was a tough one to read in the dirt.
So Finn will foul that one away. Remembering back to the second inning, Finn sent one long gone over the scoreboard for a 2-run shot. It's off a hanging breaking ball from Brady Glenn. Now it's Eric Bergman, and he'll get him to chase. Showing some emotion right there. The first scoreless inning for the Sasquatch here, 4 complete. And once we return, top half of the 5th here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
For the newest games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
top half of the fifth about to get kicked off here. Zap will have 3, 4, 5 due up. Easton Brooks back out there trying to finish his fifth inning, get himself in line for a victory here. First pitch in there, called strike. Brooks, 80 pitches through that first 4 innings. This is low now, 1-1.
Guevara 0 for 2 on the day. Did drive in a run back in the first inning on a ground ball up the middle. So that'll go down as a fielder's choice as they took the out. Actually, pardon me, that won't go down as a fielder's choice. Just an RBI ground out back up the middle.
It was a very confusing first at-bat for Guevara. The little chopper to Easton Brooks, who didn't see the miscommunication between the runners, threw it to first. Then Kyle Finn didn't see the miscommunication. Just lots of miscues in that first inning on that play specifically. Here's the 1-2. Chopped up the middle, and that will get through. So only could keep Leonardo Guevara off. Leandro Guevara, my mistake, off the board for so long. He's on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, Guevara just taking that one right back up the middle. Easton Brooks can't react in time. Hard hit ball. Like you said, Guevara, there's only so much you can do when he's at the plate. He's just been red hot all season, really. 407 coming into this ball game now, 1 for 3 on the evening. A little bit of a mound visit now between Ackerman and Brooks. What do you think they're talking about out there?
I think some of it, as Ackerman, you can see he's looking towards the bullpen, trying to give some time for the bullpen out there. Looks to be Julio Romero getting up there in the bullpen. Saw him out in Oahe, but I think just calming him down. You're a ground ball from erasing any potential damage here. Trying to roll up a double play here. That one chopped away. This is Jacob Trusner. Trusner 1 for 2 with an RBI double back in the third. Both teams have just had one scoreless inning apiece.
I think this is going to be a spot where if you're Easton Brooks, you got to make sure you're not throwing any pitches down in the dirt. Guevara, a great base runner off first.
One missing, so count will go to 1-1. If you're Brooks, remembering back, Trusner got that fastball out in front. We'll drop a curve that, no straight call there. Maybe came in, it looks like it came in a little too high.
Yeah, Trusner clearly sitting fastball here. As soon as he's seen the pitch on the last 2 breaking balls, bat has not gone off his shoulder. Now in a hitter's count at 2-1. Let's see if he gets the fastball.
Cuts on and misses. That just goes to show the fastball from Easton Brooks. Like you were saying, Trusner may have been sitting heater there, but unable to connect on that one. Now 2 strikes here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guevara on first. He takes off. That one sliced into right field. A great piece of hitting from Trusner. Guevara hustles on over to third. Runners on the corners for the Zap here with no one out.
Well, the hit and run playing to perfection right there. I mean, I'm not sure if Ryan Bachman would have been able to get over to his right, even had Guevara not been running. Well, instead the right side was about as open as it could possibly be still. So Guevara heads over to third. Trusner picks up his second hit of the night as the Zap once again threatening with 1 out.
That will end the night for Easton Brooks. Could be his last start of the summer. He's expected to leave here in the second half. Pitching change here. Julio Romero will come in. We'll talk to you about him when we come back from this break.
My favorite thing about Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot on. It has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is it's tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
Dixon Sports Medicine is here when you need us. On the gridiron or the grill. For touchdown dancers. In the home team. For the extreme or the everyday. Feeling the burn or feeling the love. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you. Watch out, she's still going.
Called to the bullpen here for the Sasquatch. Easton Brooks' night is complete. Julio Romero will step in and try to keep the Zap off the board here. First and third, no one out. Sasquatch leading 6-5 here, top half of the fifth. Saw the numbers on Romero. An ERA of 6 in his 3 innings. Last pitch went 2 innings, giving up 1 earlier this week against the Zap.
Line got a little aggressive there. A big swing on the breaking ball coming in from Romero, first pitch.
That one misses. In his previous 2 at-bats, Lang has gone to both corners of the infield. A soft line out to Dylan Darnell, and then a ground out to Kyle Finn. So you got to be thinking he's trying to meet right in the middle, get a nice little base hit up the middle and tie this game at 6. We're going to check on our base umper. You know, I really don't like with 2 umpires when they go to check up that middle.
I've said it in some of the Zap broadcasts. You have your field umpire up the middle. It's the same angle as the home plate umpire, except he's just farther away.
Cut on and miss at the off speed there. Romero, second season with the Sasquatch. Remember back when our very own Ari Wall had Nolan Ackerman on. Ackerman gave Romero some high praise. Really likes when he pitches, especially when he gets in a groove. Flips that ball. As stealing is Trusner, and that ball skied away. Had a really good jump, but with 2 strikes, got to protect there.
Trusner doesn't have a stolen base attempt yet this season, so I was a little surprised to see him going there on the 2-2 pitch, but you understand the concept with runners on the corners. Guevara alert off of third. Darnell now retreats back. He was playing a little bit farther in earlier in the at-bat. Now we'll take a step or 2 in. Finn holds the runner on first.
2-2 cut and miss. Big strikeout right there from Julio Romero, setting down Lang for the first out of the inning. Now just a ground ball away from getting out of it. Buck Snabs will step in. Snabs 1 for 1, walked also. Back in the 4th. Only free pass allowed by Easton Brooks.
Now it'll be more interesting to see what they do with Trusner. Guevara, the game's tying run off third.
And that will plunk Snabs right in the back to load the bases. That ball got away from Romero. And stick around in the bottom half of the 5th. We're going to keep our interviews going. We got a special 2-way interview in the bottom half of the 5th with the Sasquatch's own Ben Hill. He does it all. He's an intern. He's a player. What doesn't Ben Hill do? Stick around for the bottom half of the 5th.
Well, Noah Wiggins, if you're the Oahe Zap, exactly the guy you want up at the dish here. He can lay down a bunt. He's a great contact hitter, great situational hitter, can shorten up on the baseball.
Take a first pitch. Off speed in there for a strike. We saw Wiggins ground a ball over to Darnall back in the 4th that could have been a double play. Probably not, but Darnall couldn't even get one out. Overthrew Bachman, allowing both runners to advance to second. Second and third, my apologies. Cut on and miss at that one. Romero quickly ahead, 0-2.
A little surprised to see Wiggins not laying down a bunt to either the right or left side. Darnall and Finn laying back.
Especially with the Sasquatch, the defense, just that one inning, that 7-run inning, the defense went awry on them. 0-2. Defensive hack fouls it away.
Yeah, the type of position you don't want to give Romero an easy strikeout. You want to make the Sasquatch work for it at the very least here in the top of the 5th inning.
And with not only the middle infield back, but the corner infield's back, try to think they're going to turn 2 up the middle unless a hard ball to the corners. 0-2. Cut on and miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Julio Romero. Little flick of the hat also.
Hate to correct you, we got a hit by pitch between the strikeouts.
Back-to-back outs as strikeouts, we'll say. Well, I guess because it was the first pitch, yeah. Got wrapped in my mind. Cole Ottersberg will step in. 0-2 on his evening as the clouds have sort of covered our sun now. Slider, a little high right there.
This is a big at-bat here for Ottersberg, who's been struggling at the plate, hitting 121 coming into this game, 0-2. But, you know, you saw Mike Monham last night, who was hitting 125 coming into the game, a couple of clutch base hits. Big situation here for what is once again the 8-hitter for the Zap in Ottersberg.
That misses high. A single could give the Zap the lead here in the 5th.
Ottersberg might be in take mode here on a 2-0 pitch. You know, a walk would score a run.
Romero comes set. 3-0. That one's low. So Romero falls behind. 3 balls, no strikes, nowhere to put him. Leandro Guevara on third. Jacob Trusner at second. And Buck Snabs at first.
Yeah, Ottersberg bat will not be lifted off his shoulder here on the 3-0 from Romero.
That one in there. Ottersberg may have thought that was a ball. Catches the inner half.
On the knees, on the inside corner. Good pitch there from Romero, but 3-0, you want to make it much more comfortable. Middle. Was a little close to the edge on that one, but regardless, gets it in there for strike 1.
That one chopped off of his leg. Count will go full. Runners will be in motion. 3-2, 2 outs. Bases loaded, 6-5 Sasquatch lead.
Start the merry-go-round.
If you're Leandro Guevara over at third, if you get a decent jump, if you get a big lead, just got to make sure you go around a little bit. Don't want to be hit from a backswing from Ottersberg.
A backswing from Ottersberg. Wow, that would be quite the jump off of third.
Here's the 3-2. That one just missing there. Romero wanting it, but looks just a little low. And just like that, we are tied here at 6.
That's a great take there from Ottersberg. Sees the 3-2 fastball. It has most of the plate, just missing below the knees. You recognize the situation with the bases loaded. You take that one. Got yourself a tie ball game here at 6 runs apiece.
After the scoreless bottom half of the 4th, the Zap come to tie it up trying to do a little more damage. Don't want to leave the bases loaded. A lot more opportunities to score here. Emiliano Carrillo Montijo steps in, 0 for 2, couple Ks on his evening. Fouled away. Romero's struck out 2, hit 1, and walked 1, so the ball hasn't been put in play against him so far.
Still a dangerous situation for Romero with the bases loaded, 2 men out. It's now Trusner off third.
Here's the 1-1. That's low. Good stop by Ackerman, allowing that to get away.
Yeah, like you said, if that ball gets away, the Oahe Zap are going to take the lead. Trusner off of third. Very aware on the base paths.
That run that scored also charged to Easton Brooks. That 2-1's low. So count now 3-1. Romero in danger of walking back-to-back hitters and giving the Zap the lead here. Jackson Mix on deck, top of the order for the Zap.
This could be a rare situation where you have a take sign on a 3-1 count. Romero walking the previous hitter, struggling the past 2 pitches down in the dirt on Curiel.
That misses, and just like that, the Oahe Zap have taken the lead, 7-6. 2 walks and a hit batter from Julio Romero.
Yeah, not sure if that's how the Zap drew it up, but they'll take it first lead of the ball. Well, not the first lead of the ball game for the Zap. They got 2 in the top half of the first, but their first lead since then, after the Sasquatch tied it up 2 apiece in the bottom of the first inning. Now we got a little mound visit going on here, but those were the hitters to attack for Romero, really in Ottersberg and a little bit in Curiel. Now you go back to the top of the lineup and Jackson Mix, who will be the 8th hitter of the inning. Then you got Tyler Hoffman coming up. So Romero struggling early on in his first inning.
Yeah, Ottersberg and Curiel Montijo, before their recent at-bats, had been a combined 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Romero walking both of them. Still has an opportunity to get out of this one. 7-6. 2 across this inning for the Zap. Jackson Mix, 1 for 3 on his day. Did reach on an error back in the 4th.
So Romero missing low once again with that one. Could be taken till you see a strike here for Jackson Mix. Mix 1 for 2. Reach on error in the 4th.
Here's the 1-0. Out one in there, called strike. Both those runs that have scored both charged to Easton Brooks. His day is now done, allowing 7 runs. 5 of them earned across 4+ innings. Striking out 5. That's low. So Romero struck out 2 of the first 3 batters, did hit a batter in between that, but since then has lost control, falling behind Mix here.
You know, it's tough for a pitcher to come into the middle of a difficult situation. Came in with a 1-run lead, now they're trailing by 1. Neither of those runs will be earned from Romero.
So Mix, count now even, 2-2. Romero trying to pick up a 3rd strikeout here, but would accept any type of out here to get out of this one. Just down 7-6. Here's the pitch. Mix skies that one into right center, but it will hang up for Braden Gastisha. Romero gets out of the inning, but allows a couple inherited runners to score. A little barking between both teams, but it'll be 7-6 halfway home here when we return. Sasquatch's own Ben Hill will join me on the mic here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube. home half of the 5th just getting set here. Sasquatch find themselves trailing 7-6, and I'm joined up here in the booth. We've talked about him a lot. It's our two-way, Ben Hill. Welcome up here in the booth. Ben, you spend a lot of time up here in the booth, though, on these home games. For those of you who don't know, Ben also is an intern with the Sasquatch for us this season, but plays with the team on the road. So first question, just how did this come about, this opportunity for you this summer?
Yeah, so my head coach at Utah State, Anthony Peterson, he was the assistant coach up here the last couple years, and I actually wanted to come up last summer, and I just had another opportunity to come up, so I didn't get to come. But I made it sure I wanted to come up here this year, and big thanks to Eric for letting me do both, because I wanted to get some experience in the baseball world, but I wanted to keep playing as well. So
yeah, Ben, he's a pitcher at Utah State for the NCBA, the club team at Utah State, and he's had many opportunities, including against the team the Sasquatch are playing today, the Zap pitching up there. So that first road game against the Spuds, that second road game actually, but your first game pitching, what went through your mind when you were told, get loose, you're going in?
Yeah, I had a lot of nerves, honestly, but I was excited at the same time, you know. But I was like, all right, here we go. Finally get my chance to see what I can do. And, you know, I got taken deep first batter, but after that, ended up going pretty well, actually. So. Yeah.
Yes, I remember a lot of the interns, we were watching you, cheering you on, and though you gave up that first batter home run, really battled back, has had a really good season, still dealing with a little bit of shoulder injury. How's that been going about, not only having to still work as an intern here, but rehabbing yourself, trying to get back into form?
Yeah, you know, it's been annoying. I really wanted to be out there, especially when I'm on the road. But it's getting better slowly, day by day. I went and played catch today. It's feeling a lot better than it has recently. So, yeah, you know, our other intern, Blake's been great, helping me rehab and get back. But, yeah, I should be back ready, here to go soon.
Yeah, both Blake and Ben, they not only work up here during games, but before games. They're getting our field right. They're making it look the best it can, and just done an outstanding job as Patrick Rakes fouls that off. It was a 5-pitch walk for Ryan Bachman to lead things off. But coming in here, you know, first day, trying to get into that tip-top form to be able to perform at a high level, what were the expectations you had coming in this summer? What your contribution, especially to the team?
Yeah, I know I wasn't super sure what it was going to be like. I imagined that they wanted me working here at home and then getting to pitch on the road. So I kind of had an idea that was going to happen even before Eric told me. But yeah, I still wanted to get as many innings as I could, even if it's just here or there. But yeah, just staying ready at all times to do that. So.
And have you been satisfied kind of with how you've been performing this season? You know, you had a little struggles up there in Fremont, but other than that, you've had a really strong start to this summer.
Yeah. It's coming out of the bullpen. You don't get a whole lot of innings, so one bad outing there can make it look a lot worse. But, yeah, overall, I've been pretty pleased. Can't wait to get back once my shoulder's feeling better, and, yeah, keep going from there.
So this is Bergman looking on Rakes, who'll sky that just above us. Well, you know, a quick question. You speaking of that ball going above us, you know, earlier this game, the strikeout to Tyler Hoffman that bounced presumably off the plate, maybe caught a piece of Ackerman going over the fence. Have you seen something like that in a game?
I have never seen that. I don't know what happened. Maybe there's a trampoline on home plate or something.
Something you did earlier this game, making the plate that bouncy?
Yeah, I was joking with Blake that he didn't paint the plate well enough, so that's why that happened. Yeah.
So Blake will know for next time. But, you know, Ben, talk to me about the pitches and how you throw and how they have evolved throughout this upper level that you've playing since you've gotten into college.
Yeah, so a change I feel like is something I've been working on just for years and years, and I've only feel like I've been able to figure it out like the last year and a half or so. And that pitch has been huge for me, just being able to control that and use it against lefties when I can, and starting to throw it more against righties. Yeah, and I throw two types of fastballs. Honestly, it's been interesting. Sometimes I have days where my four-seam just feels like I can throw it harder and more in the zone, and there's other days where my two-seam is really working well. And it'll run and I can control it better. So, yeah, it's interesting. Just you keep playing with things when you're playing catch, and I recently developed a slider as well to go along with my curveball. So it's always fun to just keep learning and keep getting better, and yeah.
And I think when I watch you pitch, I think the first thing that comes out to me that I feel like shows up to a lot of people is the arm slot. It's a very unique arm slot out of, somewhat of a Lucas Giolito type arm slot, very close. How did that come about? And if you didn't have it before, how did you adjust how you were throwing your pitches?
Yeah, so it wasn't always like that. Growing up, I was a big fan of Tim Lincecum, and he always had that really long arm motion, and I think subconsciously that just kind of happened to me. Our coaches always knew, they're like, oh, you're a big Tim Lincecum fan, huh? I just really had a long, like I said, long motion. And up at Utah State, my pitching coach is awesome, and we just wanted to figure a way to shorten that up, and it's helped me be on time a lot more. I can been able to throw strikes more consistently. And yeah, that's kind of where it came from.
And being a pitcher, a big thing is learning pitch grips, and we actually have a ball up here. It is signed by Samson with a little smiley face. So I wanted to know, if you could show our camera right here, what your grips that you have.
Yeah, so kind of a standard 4-seam fastball right there, nothing crazy. I used to throw a 2-seam fastball like this, but recently I've switched it to going this way. I feel like I like holding the seams more now instead of putting my fingers like there. Here's my changeup from Greg Maddox. When I show it to people,
you don't use the index and middle finger? You don't touch them?
No, so really, it's a 2-finger pitch. It's the ring finger and the thumb for me. And when I throw it, I lay the other fingers on. But really, when you throw it, you really only feel these two. And then you pronate that one a little bit. My curveball, I hold it right here and then kind of just come over the top like that. And then my slider, which I recently developed. I was watching a video with Kyle Harrison, Giants rookie. So you kind of get that 4-seam grip and then offset it. And then I kind of like to just come through it and get that bullet spin on it. So I can have fun with it too, try to throw it harder, maybe have a little more of a cutter. And if I really want to rip it and get a lot of spin, have a little bit more of a slider going. So.
And is there a pitch that you've been wanting to throw for a while that you wish you could be able to throw it where you could throw it in games?
Yeah, I have a couple friends at Utah State that actually throw a really good knuckleball, and I don't know if I'll.
That's Cook that will drop in front of Wiggins. They're going to send Bachman home as Wiggins bobbles it, and Sasquatch will tie it up. A couple hits now for Danny Cook. Wiggins having trouble with that. Sorry to cut you off right there.
You're all good.
Tied here at 7 in the 5th. But yeah, go back. Want to throw that knuckleball?
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't ever get around to it in game. I don't know if many coaches would appreciate me mixing that one in there, but it would be fun. And I've been watching Paul Skeens a lot recently, and I can't believe that splinker that he throws. I think it's like that. It's like a splitter, but he throws it 95 miles per hour. So, that would be awesome.
Yeah, him and who's it, Yohan Duran that throws it as we're going to get a little pitch and chase. But we'll keep it going right here because I do have this one pressing question. Being a pitcher at a high level, that splinker, is it where you have to put more pressure? If I could see, thank you, seeing the ball. Is it where you put more pressure on that index finger going like that? Because I don't know how one could throw it that fast because the splitter has so much pressure on the forearm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I think he does is I think he holds it on one seam like that, and then the other is not on a seam. So I think that way he can really rip that, just like he's throwing a fastball. And I think that's how he gets that. And instead of maybe like a true splitter where you're not holding any of the seams.
And it does really seem like that's going to be the pitch of the future. You know, first was the sinker. No one's throwing 4-seam fastballs anymore, and now more people are going to that off-speed stuff. And the splinker, I don't know if a splinker, I wouldn't consider that off-speed just because it's so
95
hard.
95 miles per hour, can you call that an off-speed?
That would be very impressive. Well, I mean, being an Angel fan myself, Jose Soriano, one of our starters, he's somewhat developed one. It always reads as a splitter changeup. Even our new flamethrower Ben Joyce has developed one. Everyone that throws hard, they're developing it, and it's crazy to watch. I really think the game is in good hands, especially with how exciting these players are.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Just the amount of technology used in the game now and all the stats that they take, it's ridiculous. I love nerding out on that stuff and watching all those picture videos, watching spin rate and spin efficiency and stuff like that. I think it's super interesting. So yeah, the game's only going to get better. Everyone's going to get better.
So this is number 36, Jacob Skinner. He'll replace Garrett Bergman, who will depart here with a couple runners on. If you miss it, Danny Cook tying things up with a single out to left there. Not ruling it an error out there from Wiggins. Seemed like Bachman either hesitated over at third to go home with Justice Scott as the third base coach, or Wiggins may have had a little bobble. But, staying here, Ben, how's Spearfish South Dakota treating you?
Spearfish is awesome. I really kind of had no idea what I was getting into when I was coming up here. I didn't know what it looked like out here, but immediately when I got into town, I just thought this place was beautiful, and we get a great crowd out here, even on like Wednesday nights, like we had the other night. Yeah, the community support's awesome, and Spearfish is a great place. I really like it.
Had you heard of Spearfish before coming here?
I haven't.
Okay,
no.
I feel like it's a big common theme for people that aren't from South Dakota or maybe nearby states. That is Ben Green, who will get plunked. First pitch from Skinner. That will load the bases, turning the batting over with Seth Nelson. And Seth Nelson, Ben, what a character he is. We've had him up here. Ari's had a chance to talk with him. A big controversial thing, I think, with him and this team is his pregame music choice. I've heard lots of back and forth. I've heard our very own Javier Marcial, who's not a fan. He plays, for those of you who don't know, if you aren't able to get here on time, don't think our gates open up at the time. Seth Nelson, big house music fan, which I learned the term that I'm not a big into music. I hadn't heard of house music. I called it Euro, Euro techno.
I didn't
techno
know.
Euro.
I've heard of house music, but I didn't know if that was what they classified house music.
What are your thoughts on that?
Whatever gets him going. Like, if that works for him, I respect it. I know it doesn't work for everyone, so luckily I've been able to throw in some tunes that I know everyone would enjoy, and I know Javi definitely enjoys it. So
big Drake fan.
yeah, for sure. So, but whatever works, right? Whatever works.
Check swing foul there from Seth Nelson. He'll go down 1-2. And sticking with music, Ben, you spent a lot of time on the road with these guys. If you had to pick one guy, who are you handing the aux to?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because we usually, we have to listen to whatever the stadium plays, right? So we don't really have a speaker. But, Javi, we usually like the same song, so I'd probably give it to Javi.
Nelson will cut on and miss there. Skinner will leave the bases stranded up before the Sasquatch tie it up. 5 complete. Well, Ben, thank you for joining us. I know you got to get back into your duties here as an intern. Great to have Ben Hill up here. Make sure to catch him the next time he's on the mound out there on the road, or come up to meet him. He's up here in the press box with us on Home Games. It's great to have you here, Ben.
An honor. Thank you, Stephen.
We'll see you next time when we have you, hopefully, on another broadcast. But when we return, top of the 6th here, tied here at 7.
My favorite thing about Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Spot On teamwork saves me so much time. I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Now remember, you really hate that back office.
Top half of the 6th inning getting started here. A new pitcher on the mound for the Sasquatch, relieving Julio Romero is going to be number 40, Cole Krieber. A little trouble this season allowing hard contact. That first one misses. An opportunity to see Krieber out against the Zap in his last appearance.
Hoffman now 1 for 3 on the day. Double coming back in the first.
We'll roll that one over. Darnell, strong throw on over to first in time. Had a great talk with intern/player Ben Hill. Saying get to pick his mind about his perspective. Very unique perspective for him. As far as I know, one of the only, if not the only, people to have the opportunity to do that in the ILB. This is Guevara that will step in. He's also 1 for 3. That hit coming back in the 5th, led things off in that 2-run 5th inning.
Yeah, that was a pitch on the outside corner that Guevara just took right back up the middle. He's looked good in all 3 plate appearances tonight, just 1 for 3 though.
We'll foul that one off. Quickly behind 0-2.
Yeah, Guevara last night opened up the scoring with the RBI triple back in the first. So he has 8 extra base hits on the year for the Zap, 7 doubles and a triple. Still looking for his first long ball.
Yeah, he just hits. He gets on base. Is that one off the plate? You know, but if you're Guevara, don't need always to have the long ball, especially when you have Vince Palizzi right behind you, who's put out 6 this season.
Well, he can hit it. He had 6 at Kentucky Christian this past year.
Get that one off the end of the bat. That might drive in front of Rakes, and it looks like it will. Rakes, a valiant effort, but it will bounce right in front of his glove, and Guevara's on for his 2nd hit of the evening.
Well, usually with Guevara, you see a screaming line drive off the bat. That one just a bit off the end of the bat. As you said, Rakes a great diving effort out in left field, just couldn't get to the ball, diving a bit quickly on him. It looked like he was trying to trap it before the ball squirted away.
So now Jacob Trusner will step in, 2 for 3 on his day. Double and a single to his name. As Krieber misses on the first pitch, 1-0.
Yeah, that double just roped into left center field, coming back in the 3rd inning. That one would drive home a run.
That catches the corner, 1-1, and we were talking about it, but between the scene, I don't know if folks on the broadcast got a chance to see. Julio Romero had little words to say when he got that last out, chirping towards that Zap dugout. It was a quick pickoff, and they're gonna say Guevara is out. The Zap do not agree. A swipe tag from Finn. They're going to say he's out at first.
Guevara disagreed, and so does Haberger. Guevara slamming his hand on the base. Now Haberger's going to go out to have a talk with the field umpire. That's the 2nd call that he's missed. And, well, we didn't have a great angle at that one. I won't say he missed it quite yet, but we know he missed one. Guevara felt very strongly he got his hands on the bag. Usually you have a good feel as a runner on whether or not the tag beats you back in.
And this is a good choice, I think, talking with the umpire. Home plate umpire had much better view than our base umpire just because of the spot he has to be in. And they're going to say he's out. That call will stand. And, you know, from my angle, it being far away and we don't have that angle of the tag, it seemed to me that Finn might have missed that first one and got him on the arm. But I think Guevara may have gotten that arm in time, but
it seemed as if the throw beat Guevara and the tag missed him. And oftentimes, when you don't have the angle, if the throw beats the runner, you're going to call him out on the bases. That seems to be what happened there. Now a very different situation, 2 outs with the 1-1 count on Trusner.
That was very well put right there as Trusner cuts and misses there, 1-2. Krieber now can get a scoreless inning here. There's the 1-2. That's high. Also, if you get far shot, you can maybe see in your bottom right corner, that is Javier Marcial taking photos of Cole Kreber. Does it all. He was throwing BP earlier before this game, now taking some photos. That 2-2 misses. Count runs full. Mason Lang on deck.
Nice at bat here from Trusner, who's laid off a couple of competitive pitches now.
Yeah, the Zap have put together several really good at-bats. As that one doesn't catch the corner, half of the infield started walking off, including Kreber. Instead, will be a 2-out walk to keep this inning alive.
Yeah, that pitch looked pretty good from up here in the press box. Looks like it was on the knees of Trusner, or perhaps a little higher, but the ball definitely caught the plate. I'm guessing that it was called a ball as it was low on the knees of Trusner.
Yeah, Ackerman always does a good job receiving those low pitches. Couldn't steal one there, and really close pitch right there that Kreber obviously was upset at after, but you got to forget about that and get this next out here. Got some movement up in the Sasquatch bullpen right now as that one goes in the dirt, 2-0.
Yeah, well, from right behind home plate, we have a much better view of inside and outside on the plate than we do high and low up here.
It's Jackson Peters, a side armor for the Sasquatch. Is that one off the tip of the bat? Good play over there. Count now, 2-1. Lang 0 for 3 on his day. A line out, a ground out, and a strikeout. If you're Kreber, want to pound the zone, don't want to give more free passes to the Zap. That catches the inner half. Count now even at 2. Both teams 7 runs on 8 hits.
Yeah, Lang a great 2-strike hitter, just 7 strikeouts on the season to this point in 54 plate appearances, so very good at putting the ball in play. Another close pickoff move back at first.
Yeah, the Zap bench really yelling that he got back in there safely. They don't want to give the umpire any chance. He was in there pretty easily. Here's the 2-2. That runs high. So Trusner will be on the move here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on, 7-7 here, top half of the 6th. It's been a back and forth game here.
No shortage of runs so far in this series. A 14-10 ball game yesterday, 7-7 in the 6th.
Cut on and miss. Cole Kreber puts up a shutdown inning and leaves us tied here. When we return, bottom half of the 6th, Sasquatch gonna do their best to get a run across here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
Dixon Sports Medicine is here when you need us. On the gridiron or the grill. For touchdown dancers. In the home team. For the extreme or the everyday. Feeling the burn or feeling the love. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you. Watch out, she's still going.
after a scoreless inning from Cole Krieber. The Sasquatch now have a chance to take the lead here, tied at 7 here in the bottom half of the 6th. As mentioned, last bottom half of the 5th inning, new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be number 36, Jacob Skinner for the Zap.
Yeah, Skinner last inning coming on in relief of Garrett Bergman, gave up that RBI single to Daniel Cook. The run will go against Bergman and his track record. Skinner so far on the year, 13 innings pitched. He's given up 18 hits, 12 runs, only half of those earned at 6.
It's going to be a tough play in left field, and diving and making the grab is Noah Wiggins. Full extension there. What a grab for the left fielder.
Yeah, that's an incredible play from Wiggins. A lot of ground to cover. He was tracking the ball well, but what makes that extra hard is as a righty out in left field, it's an awkward angle to catch the ball as you're diving face forwards.
So Kyle Finn will step in. Finn 1 for 2 on his day. A walk back in the first, a 2-run bomb in the second, and then struck out in the 4th.
You know what? I think you're right. Wiggins, the lefty, the awkward angle for the lefty out in left field.
Finn out in front of that one, fouls it away. It's always so effortless with Kyle Finn. Just has so much pop behind that bat.
One thing Skinner does well, though, he pounds the zone. Only 4 walks in his 13 innings of work so far this season.
Always love to have that, especially if you're going to go be a back-end reliever. You don't want to give teams opportunities late in games to tie games up, take the lead, what have you.
Yeah, 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Skinner, improving upon it there.
I'll get Finn, who will go down swinging for his 2nd consecutive at-bat. I'll turn it to Mr. Sasquatch himself, Ryan Bachman. Bachman singled back in the first to keep his on-base streak alive. He's got on base in every game he's played in. Has had a couple games off. He had a doubleheader off in Fremont, the former half, and then the earlier last week.
Yeah, now a 10-game hitting streak for Bachman. You mentioned the on-base streak, but up in double digits, base hits in the past 10.
He's even though you don't have enough. He doesn't have enough games, he's going to catch DiMaggio. He's catching it. Come back a 5th year, Bachman, as he laces one into left field, but it will hang up for Noah Wiggins. Have an inning. Noah Wiggins as a 1-2-3 inning for Skinner will send us to the top half of the 7th, where we are tied at 7 here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
When you venture to spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Last 3 innings to go here in Spearfish, South Dakota, and the Sasquatch are going to turn the ball over. Another sidearm pitcher they have in that bullpen. It's going to be Jackson Peters. Peters this year will be making his 3rd appearance. As you can see, yet to allow a run. Has had some issue with the free passes with 3 of them. Was done a good job getting out of big innings, but got to think can't allow those free passes because that can't continue to go your way if you're allowing so many runners to reach.
Yeah, absolutely. Walks and hit by pitches, a huge issue back in the 5th inning for the Sasquatch. You know, you got the first 2 runners on in the inning. They move over to 2nd and 3rd. The base is loaded. You get 2 outs, though, and you think the Sasquatch are going to be able to get out of that inning before a couple of walks gave the Zappo 1-run lead. Game now tied here at 7s, going into the top of the 7th inning.
Buck Snabs will step in. Reach base all 3 times. A walk, a hit by pitch, and a single. And Snabs is hit.
The Zap dugout didn't like that one. They were already chirping with the with what appeared to be the Sasquatch dugout, and then first pitch. Not implying any causation there, not intentional at all. But first pitch, Snabs gets hit. I mean that's gonna, ignite the dugout even more. Like I said, absolutely unintentional.
Yeah, we saw back in the 5th inning there was some chirpiness between Julio Romero and their dugout. Now Peters, as mentioned, has had some trouble with the base runners. That one gets through. And it'll be 1st and 3rd now for the Zap. Wiggins just muscling that one into right field.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Wiggins. A tough pitch on the inside corner. Wiggins fighting it the other way. Buck Snabs, good base running there. He did not hesitate rounding second base. He saw that ball going through the right side at, well, we'll call it a moderate pace. Snabs digging in for 3rd, runners on the corners with no one out. Now Cole Ottersberg a chance to do some damage.
Really impressive also from Snabs. That ball didn't hit him. It had some funky bounce, and Snabs didn't let up. He just ran through it. Now Ottersberg fouls the first pitch away. Ottersberg 0 for 2 on his day with the walk. Snabs has now reached in all 4 plate appearances. A couple hit by pitches too. Romero plunked him back in the 5th.
Well, Haberger has gotten aggressive so far this season with runners on 1st and 3rd. Wiggins has speed off 1st.
There goes Wiggins. Cut on and missed. The throw from Ackerman a little high on that one. And Wiggins will swipe 2nd. Ottersberg swung and missed at that pitch, so we'll go 0-2. We'll see if head coach Justice Scott will bring the infield in here. And no, he's going to wave him back. He trusts his offense. It's 7-7 here in the 7th.
Yeah, Cole Ottersberg now behind in the count 0-2. Got runners on 2nd and 3rd. Got to shorten up on the bat here.
0-2. That's low. Got to think that Peters is going to be going after the strikeout here. Interesting, though the offense has been clicking for the Sasquatch, still interesting to see the infield playing back. Kyle Finn is slightly up just behind first base. Darnall is a couple feet behind for 3rd base. 1-2 misses.
Good play by Ackerman, reaching out to get that one behind the plate. Critical situation here with runners on 2nd and 3rd, no outs in a tie ball game. Ackerman keeping it a 7-7 game.
Yeah, pass ball would surely score the runner home from 3rd. 2-2 count now. Peters does have strikeout stuff. You saw 4 of them in 2 innings coming into today. And he'll get a 5th one there. Ottersberg will go down swinging, his 2nd time of the day. And they'll bring up Emiliano Curiel Montijo, the number 9 hole.
Yeah, that's a critical at-bat there from Peters. I lost myself there for a second. Getting a strikeout with 2 on and no man out Still a situation for the Zap to score a run with the ball in play here.
That ball's going to be jammed and will get down. At least one will score. They're going to send Wiggins home from third. The throw a little offline. And Curiel Montijo delivers for the Zap. Another late inning heroics here from the Zap this week. And now lead 9-7.
Great job of Curiel by being aggressive on the first pitch. A fastball inside, a little bit of an inside-out swing there, fighting it off into right field. The reason it's so important to be aggressive early in the count, you got runners on second and third. You know, you swing early in the count, that's just another opportunity to put the ball in play rather than falling behind on Peters.
Aiden Torpy's getting up for the Sasquatch. A very similar arm action from him as Jackson Mix takes a first pitch ball.
And so the Zap at the plate carrying the momentum from last night. 14 runs on 14 hits. Tonight now 9 runs on 10 hits. Back-to-back double-digit hit games for the Zap. As a team that struggled in the 11 games prior, that is a healthy sign going into the second half.
And even going back to that last game in Oahe where they were very close to making a big comeback, the offense has really come over here to Spearfish. They're going to look to continue on this hot streak that they have with their bats the rest of this first half and then carry it over to the second half. There goes Montijo, and that will get away from Ackerman. So a stolen base there for Curiel Montijo. Count will go now 2-1.
It's a big bag there from Curiel, like you said. Now Mix at the plate, a chance to tack on an insurance run with a simple base hit.
Mix did single back in the first, a ball that bounced over Kyle Finn. He'll line that one up the middle, get down. Almost took the hat off of Peters. They're going to hold Curiel Montijo at third, who had to wait to see that ball get down. Back-to-back hits for the Zap, who are still threatening to score.
Yeah, Curiel off of second base. His first step was back towards second as he saw the ball hit up the middle. You can understand that he doesn't know where the ball is relative to the fielders, doesn't want to be doubled off to end the inning. So that's why he had to held at third base despite having a lot of speed. Still just one out for Tyler Hoffman.
Hoffman looks like he went around. They're going to say yes. Might have been also on the pitch if possibly. Hoffman, who had reached base in 7 consecutive at-bats, one also those being a strikeout, has been retired the last couple groundouts to Dylan Darnall over at third. 0-1. Popped up into shallow right center field. They're going to test the arm of Gostisha. The throw is way over Ackerman's head. And Curiel Montijo will score an insurance run right there. And Zap now lead 10-7.
Yeah, well, that was an aggressive move from Haberger to send Curiel off of third. You know, the throw was there in plenty of time, just about 10 feet too high. A heck of an arm by Gostisha out there in right field. Just too much power, too much air under that one, which allows the Zap to extend it now to a 10-7 lead.
Leandro Guevara will now step in, and yeah, you said it. Braden Gostisha has a very strong arm. You know, kind of throws to me like Aaron Judge. You know, Judge, it never looks like he's trying to throw that hard, and the ball just explodes out of his hand. Same with Gostisha on there and right, just got a little too high, and heads up by the Zap, pressing the issue, forcing a good throw from him.
The one thing to note about the Zap so far tonight, you don't have an individual player performance that stands out from any one player. This has been a team effort, 11 hits for the Zap, RBIs to go around the lineup.
Similar to yesterday, you know, yes, you had Hoffman reaching base 5 times, but Maumon, some couple clutch hits. It's the next man up mentality, and especially for the Zap, with one of their better hitters in Vince Palizzi out, especially on the power side, still putting up double-digit runs. They still got a couple more at-bats to go here.
Yeah, and 8 of the 9 Zap hitters tonight have reached safely. The lone Zap hitter who hasn't yet is Mason Lang.
That ball got in on the hands, might have sawed him off. Tough play for Darnall, makes the good throw on the run. Couple runs across for the Zap, they'll take the lead. It's stretch time here at Black Hills Energy Stadium with the Oahe Zap leading the Sasquatch 10-7. You've been watching the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
It's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Top of the 7th inning starting here after the Zap took a 3-run lead after 3 runs coming across in the top half of the 7th. It'll be Patrick Rakes leading off for the Sasquatch. He'll take the first pitch low.
Yeah, interesting to see Skinner coming back out. A very quick 6th inning of work. I believe he threw about 5 or 6 pitches in that one. He did throw 26 pitches last night, so I would expect this to be his last inning.
There's still no one up in the Zap bullpen as that one runs high. We saw Aiden Torpy up and getting loose for the Squatch last half inning. He has since stopped working out down there. And already Wall had Aiden Torpy up last game to talk some ball. That misses, so Skinner falling behind Rakes, 3-0. Dylan Darnall on deck. Darnall has cracked a home run today. We'll find the zone there, 3-1.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the pen for the Zap after this. Lucas Creighton, Angel Escobar, and Julius Cass all pitching last night.
That one off the glove of Skinner, loses his glove, and he'll still make the play. What an athletic play from Jacob Skinner. Hopefully he's all right. That one went right off of the palm part of his glove, and then he had to field it without that glove.
He's an athlete out there on the mound. Skinner standing at 6 foot, sitting around 165 pounds, but he is an animal on the mound, moving very quickly to his right to get the ball, throwing the runner out at first.
So a hard hit ball from Rakes, but unfortunately right at the pitcher, Skinner, who seems to be all right. He has done a good job against this Sasquatch offense, really have calmed them down. Spearfish in danger of going back-to-back innings without scoring a run. They haven't done that yet in this game as that first pitch misses to Darnall.
Yeah, so Escobar, really the Zap #1 guy out of the pen. He threw 27 pitches last night in the 9th inning, struggling a little bit, giving up 3 runs, all of them unearned.
Semi-deep fly ball out to right center field. That'll be picked up by Ottersberg, second out of the inning.
And between him, Cass, and Creighton, you'd have to think that one of them is going to pitch on back-to-back nights in a high-leverage situation. You'd expect it to be Escobar. However, you could go Cass or Creighton for the 8th if you want to set up Escobar for the 9th, or you have Escobar go 2 innings, but that remains to be seen.
So Nolan Ackerman will step in. Last inning for the Sasquatch was the first 1-2-3 inning of the day, and Ackerman can't do anything here. They go back-to-back innings being sent down in order. Skinner has really gotten into a groove here, even after the hard hit off of his glove. Thank God he hit his glove. You don't want that hitting any part of the body because Patrick Rake's got a good piece of that.
Yeah, the Sasquatch have had some hard hit balls off of Skinner. The line drive out to left, that one ended the 6th inning. There was the diving play by Wiggins in left that begun the 6th inning. Line drive back up to Skinner. Even that ball was hit pretty deep out towards right center field. But the past 5 hitters have been retired for Jacob Skinner.
2-1 misses. Skinner hasn't allowed a free pass. He did hit Ben Green, so he hasn't walked a hitter yet. He did hit Ben Green on his first pitch.
Well, just as I was talking, Angel Escobar now up in the Zap pen.
Out one up the middle. Diving effort, but past Tyler Hoffman. Nolan Ackerman picking up his first hit of the evening. Keep this inning alive, and they'll move it over to the Pepperdine commit in Danny Cook.
Yeah, Cook so far today, 2 for 3, a double back in the 2nd, an RBI single coming in the 5th.
All 3 at-bats. Danny Cook has really hit the ball hard. Even his out back in the 3rd was a line drive to right field that was caught. Hasn't had too much consistent time since arriving here in Spearfish, but he's certainly made the most of his opportunities. As mentioned, a recent graduate of high school, just about a month and a half ago. He was going to prom, doing finals, and now here he is in Spearfish, South Dakota, playing with the Sasquatch.
You know, it's tough for Cook to get playing time. He has to compete with Micah Coleman. Coleman's been a little shaky in the field, but he has been rock solid at the plate. Coleman hitting .382 now on the year, and Cook's hitting over .300 himself. So, you know, it's tough when your lineup is just so deep.
Justice Scott really has a good problem to deal with if you're a coach. You want to have too much talent on your team where you have to pick and choose where to put batters. Even number 9 hitter and Ben Green on deck, who is well above .300 coming in today's game. Skinner will check in over on Ackerman again.
Yeah, Coleman in on-base percentage, it's laughable at .523. Those are video game numbers there from Coleman.
2-0 here to Danny Cook. Out one misses, so 3 pitches that have missed in somewhat similar spots from Jacob Skinner. He's gotten 3 balls on 3 of the 4 hitters he's faced. He got rakes out the ball off of himself. And then Ackerman singled on a 3-1 count. As mentioned, Ben Green on deck, 1 for 2 with the single and hit by pitch. Catches the corner. So 3-1, still got to be decently selective here. Trailing by 3. You can't tie the game up here. You just want to keep this inning going as Cook will slam that one into right center field. It will get down. Ackerman, a great read off the bat, will go to 3rd. A little bobble from Curiel Montijo. Ackerman will hold up at 3rd wisely from Justice Scott not sending him. So it'll be a single and an error for Danny Cook, his 3rd hit of the evening here. Now the tying run and Ben Green comes up.
You know, you say wisely. I might have to disagree with you there. I thought Ackerman was going to have a chance to come around 3rd and score. It was just as Curiel, was throwing the ball into the infield that Ackerman was rounding 3rd. Perhaps a little more time than Justice Scott thought off of 3rd, but he had 2 hands up. Still runners on 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs.
And Green fouls that back. Yeah, you know, the wisely, I just think with being trailing by 3 and that run not mattering too much as Ben Green is down on the ground. It's definitely not an injury you want to see. Ball didn't go off of his leg. It fouled back, and it is that right leg. We're mentioning how impactful Ben Green has been at the dish. He's getting up, walking on his own power.
Yeah, he's trying not to put too much weight down on it, though.
He's talking with the trainer, and whatever he said, the first thing he said, our own trainer started laughing, so maybe, possibly, if I had to guess, I am not a doctor, maybe just had a little cramp in that toe. Gotta get those bananas in if you're Ben Green.
Well, it looks like Green will stay in the game. That's good to see for the Sasquatch, and more importantly for Ben Green, that he is all right.
Never want to see injuries in summer ball. You know, these guys are getting their work in, work on something new, getting as many reps as possible before going back home to play in their respective colleges. There's Green. How's that one away? Green does have don't look at his size. He does have a couple bombs this season. One here in Spearfish, one out in Fremont, both to right field. So he does have power, and if you ask a lot of the players, they'll say just such a fluid swing from that left side.
Well, he's now in an 0-2 hole on Skinner, who has attacked the strike zone with runners on second and third.
That one's low. Should this inning continue, Seth Nelson on deck. Nelson 1 for 3, couple Ks to his name and a walk.
Big inning here in the 7th for the Sasquatch. I mean, you want to try and scrap as many runs across before the 8th and 9th. You feel like you're running out of outs. That's why even Ackerman coming around third just in the 7th, if he could have scored that run, you cut it to a 2-run ball game. And for some reason, 2 with 6 outs to go feels much friendlier than trailing by 3 with 6 outs to go. I'm not sure if you'd call that a high-level analysis.
So 1-2 count here. Skinner trying to shut the door down here as that pitch is in the dirt. Good block from Lang. You saw before that last at-bat, and even right now, Ben Green still working out that right leg. Got to think it's something more down on the foot area. Got to think it was just a little cramp. Just trying to stretch it out. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on here for Ben Green. Hard ground ball up the middle. Good stop from Hoffman. Throw on over to first in the dirt, and unable to dig it out is Trusner. He had it for what seemed like a majority of the time, but it fell out. It'll be the error on Hoffman. Run comes across. And the Sasquatch now trail just by 2.
That's a tough one for Tyler Hoffman at second. He did the hard part. It took a tough hop up on him, fielding it cleanly. The throw down in the dirt, Trusner not able to scoop it out. And, you know, it's funny. So Hoffman will pick up an error on that, despite the fact if he couldn't field it at first, it likely would have been a hit. Had a situation where that happened in the 9th inning last night with Aiden Johnson at third base for the Zap. Now a 10-8 ball game.
Now it's Seth Nelson. He'll take a strike. That was a great play from Hoffman. Just seemed like he had a little, thought he had a little less time than trying to rush through his throw, maybe just a little bit. Couldn't get a good grip on the ball. And Trusner very close to making that pick. That one misses.
Well, sometimes what will happen to you is that ball took a big hop up on him. That'll get his weight on his heels, and you're not in a great position to make the throw. And at that point, you feel the runner moving down the line, and he was moving quickly. Just to throw a little down in the dirt.
I went in there. So Nelson falls behind 1-2. Was not in agreement to that call. Nelson's already gone down via the strikeout 2 times. Looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 5th. Those Sasquatch have a run across. They don't want to leave these runners on base. Want to get maybe one more in, draw it just to 1 run. 10-8 here, bottom half of the 7th. And he'll smack that and get through the hole. What a hit from Seth Nelson, who has some choice words for, looks like the home plate umpire maybe. Seth Nelson delivers here, and it is 10-9 in the 7th inning. That error for Hoffman now proving costly.
Well, Nelson, if you'll recall, was very upset back in the second inning when he struck out looking. He's had some problems all night with the home plate umpire. Got to be careful there off of first. When you're showing off to the ump like that, that's where it gets a little risky and you get into ejection territory. Nonetheless, good piece of hitting by Nelson. His second hit of the game cuts the deficit to 1 for the Sasquatch.
Oh, Braden Gastisha, 3 flyouts on the day. He could really use a hit here. Green on the move. The throw over to third is safe. Ben Green swims around Jackson Mix. The throw beat him by a lot, and Green swims around. Noah Wiggins also in left field coming in to yell at the umpire. Lots of problems with these umpires today from both sides.
Well, we did not have a good look at that one. It did look like a swim move. Couldn't see the tag from this angle. Like you said, the entire Zap dugout up on the rail, letting the field umpire hear it. There's been a couple of calls they've been unhappy with.
It was a strike on Gastisha, who fouls it off. You know, unlike the pickoff at first where they had the Zap out, the umpire had a much better angle than he would have at that pickoff to see if there was a tag. Throw beat him by a lot. Mix had to really reach out for that before going to swipe. But Ben Green swims around it. Very interesting to see him steal with 2 outs. You think you'd want to try to score with 2 outs.
Yeah, and the one thing you will say from the Zap dugout, not the best angle.
And that one gets away, and that stolen base will be huge, actually, for the Sasquatch as they answer with 3 of their own. We are tied up at 10 in the 7th. What hasn't this game had today?
Yeah, that one, a rare. I mean, Skinner has been pitching through this inning relatively well. A couple of soft ground balls that have got him through the holes in the infield that have let the last 2 runs score. A big mistake there with the runner on third, spiking a pitch that gets by Lang, who's been a good presence for the Zap to this point.
Gastisha will send that one into right center, going back on his Ottersberg, and he'll make the grab, but not before 3 needed runs for the Sasquatch come across, and we are tied up at 10. 7 complete here at Black Hills Energy Stadium, with a lot more to come when we return on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
When you venture to Spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a Spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Jackson Peters will turn the ball over in this 8th inning to the man from down under, number 26, Aiden Torpy, who's had a great start to his summer. 6 1/3 this year, just 4 runs, but only 2 of them earned. A 1.86 ERA, 9 2/3 innings, my apologies. He's been a guy that you can rely on for not just 1 inning, but more than 1 inning. Been effective this year. Has given up a decent amount of base runners with a whip over 1-3.
Well, he faced the Oahe Zap 2 days ago on June 18th. He went 1 1/3 innings. Didn't give up a single hit, gave up a walk though, no strikeouts. Zap putting the ball in play off Torpy.
See, Torpy has a very similar arm slot that Jackson Peters has, as the sun is, wouldn't say setting, but the clouds have really gotten dark. It is 8:50, and we still got some light here for baseball. That's the Midwest for you in the summer.
Well, yeah, but now the lights shining bright here at Black Hills Energy Stadium. Like you said, the clouds have darkened this one out quicker than otherwise might be.
Torpy misses on the 1-2.
Trusner 2 for 3 today, couple of RBIs and a walk most recently in the 6th.
1-2. Trusner sends it out of play. Big thing with Torpy is throwing those strikes. He's someone you could really rely on to not go too deep into counts.
And with that arm slap from Torpy, it runs in on the hitter much quicker than it might show up on a radar gun.
That one just off the plate. Torpy wanted that seep. He may just grip it as a four seam, but from that arm slot, it sinks back. So it can be really effective to both right-handed and left-handed hitters.
At 2 pitches off the outside corner, Torpy didn't get the call, went back to it there. Once again, outside corner, home plate umpire not giving Torpy anything here.
So count will go full. Mason Lang on deck. Lang hitless in 4 trips. Both fouled and will stay in the batter's box. Almost caught a piece of Nolan Ackerman there.
Good at bat here from Lang, taking a couple pitches outside. He's fouled off 2 balls now with 2 strikes. Count remains full, so tough first out for Torpy.
Definitely do not want to walk this leadoff hitter this late in the game. The 3-2. Caught him looking on the off-speed pitch. Little delayed call from our home plate umpire. Torpy will not argue too much with that. Leadoff strikeout for Aiden Torpy.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty similar spot to the previous 2 pitches. Perhaps just a touch on the outside corner as Trusner goes down looking. Big first strikeout there from Torpy. Once again, the Zap up in arms in the dugout.
That one fouled. Heads up over there. We'll get ahead 0-1. Mason Lang, couple strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats.
Lang, the only batter for the Zap that has not reached base so far today.
Good pitch right there. Took something off. It looks like the changeup. Also saw right before that pitch, it was Jackson Renz that walked past one of our cameras. You can see him with the lay, full out in Margaritaville theme, as that is theme night here at Black Hills Energy Stadium.
Lang well out ahead of that pitch. Deception from the sidearm motion.
That one runs high, 1-2 now. If you're Torpy, don't need a strikeout necessarily. You just don't want to get too deep into counts where you have to give him something to hit. 1-2. That's low.
So now a couple of batters where Torpy has quickly gotten out ahead with 2 strikes. Couple of pitches missing. Count now 2-2 on Lang.
So he got into a deep count with Trusner. That went 8 pitches. On a 2-2 to Lang. And he gets Lang on the changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aiden Torpy, who has really turned it up a notch his last few starts.
3 strikeouts tonight from Mason Lang. That is a rare appearance. He had just 7 coming into this ball game. Possibly just not seeing the ball well so far here tonight. Now 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
Definitely hard to see the ball out of Aiden Torpy's hand. Even if you're catching a Remembering back, wasn't about Aiden Torpey, it was about last innings pitcher Jackson Peters, but Nolan Ackerman said sometimes it's difficult to see the ball out of his hand. He just has so much motion. He's throwing from the side. Can't imagine what it's like for hitters. That ball's grounded over. Going to be a tough play at shortstop. Strong throw over and unable to dig it out. Don't think would have mattered if Finn picked that one.
Yeah, Snabs moves well, and he has now reached on all 5 of his appearances. 2 for 2 on the day, couple of hit by pitches and a walk. Brings up Noah Wiggins. Wiggins a base hit through the right side in his last at-bat. That's his only hit of the day as he's 1 for 4.
Wiggins was one of the most vocal guys in the Zap team last inning at both umpires. That first pitch misses.
It seems like both sides are letting them hear it out here. No one is
Seth Nelson,
happy.
yeah. I mean, I guess you don't want to say. I guess that's the positive side that both teams are unhappy, but Wiggins and Seth Nelson both very upset at both umpires.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see if Snabs is running here with 2 men out. Possibly a good situation to get aggressive.
You could get into scoring position where a single could score you. Torpey might have hurt you right there.
Well, Snabs not that far off first on the initial lead. Takes a big secondary. Let's see if he tries to time up Torpey.
1-1. That misses away.
Yeah, Snabs staying relatively still at first for now. Wiggins down the hitter's count. Couple of strikeouts on the night. Reaching on an error by the third baseman, Dylan Darnall, back in the 4th.
Hard ground ball over to Cook, who misplays it. That ball eats Danny Cook up at short. Would have for sure been an inning-ending ground out either to second or first. Instead, it'll be an error on the shortstop.
Yeah, right through the wickets of Daniel Cook, as that appears to be the 3rd error of the game for the Sasquatch.
I'll keep the inning alive. Cole Ottersberg will step in.
A little surprised we're not seeing a pinch hitter here. Ottersberg hasn't looked the most comfortable at the plate tonight.
Yeah, 0 for 3 with a walk. A couple strikeouts as well. Aiden Torpey, who struck out the first 2 guys, then allowed an infield single and an error from Danny Cook. We'll see how costly that error becomes. That one's in there. We saw the error from Tyler Hoffman last inning that allowed all 3 runs to score.
Ottersberg on the day, 0 for 3. A walk in the 5th brought a run home with the bases loaded.
Not in agreement with that one. Might have been a touch off the plate. So count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, top of the 8th here. Game tied at 10. It has been back and forth since first pitch. 1-2. That's low.
Yeah, Ottersberg, a little bit of a hesitation there. So tough as a righty because it comes way out from the side all the way across the plate. That one, Ottersberg able to hold up on.
That one just off the plate. Torpey was a couple steps off the mound. Instead, we'll go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on here.
Runners will be moving from first and second. Snabs at second, Wiggins at first.
Biggest pitch of the game here. The pitch from Torpey. And that's a called 3rd strike. Ottersberg cannot believe it. Aiden Torpey shuts the door, striking out the side, and has a couple words for the dugout. This game is far from over as we are tied up at 10, heading into the bottom of the 8th here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. On the gridiron or the grill. For touchdown dancers. In the home team. For the extreme or the everyday. Feeling the burn or feeling the love. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you. Watch out, she's still going.
Fans, come join us out this weekend. Starting tomorrow, it's 70s, 80s, 90s weekend, Airs weekend as you might have it. I'll be playing the Zap tomorrow and then a quick 2-game set after to conclude the weekend. Have some fun for good music. Bring out your 70s, 80s, 90s attire. We'll learn some dances, and we'll have a great time during Era's weekend. Make sure to pull up for that one. Got a new Era also on the mound in Angel Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar now facing Kyle Finn. That one fouled away. So Escobar through has pitched 9 outings today, his 10th outing of the season, 18 1/3 innings, giving up 12 hits, just 1 earned run, ERA of .491. However, his past 2 starts has given up 5 runs unearned.
That's a leadoff single there for Kyle Finn. He had struck out his last 2 at-bats, but picked up his 2nd hit of the day. Leadoff runner on for the Sasquatch. The go-ahead run here in the bottom half of the 8th. And I'll bring up Ryan Bachman.
Just to finish up on Escobar, he pitched the 9th inning last night, 27 pitches thrown, 3 hits, 3 runs, struggled through that one, but the Zap still won by a score of 14-10. And so interesting to see Escobar out here in the 8th, no one up in the pen for the Zap. You'd expect he has the 8th and the 9th. The Zap will piece things together if it goes to extra innings, but right now Haberger has this game in the hands of Angel Escobar.
I went in the dirt. Finn caught in the middle of it. The throw's over to first and unable. Jacob Trusner mishandles the ball. Kyle Finn advances to second.
Yeah, Kyle Finn was caught in between on that one. I think Mason Lang from behind the dish just rushed the throw a little bit. He could have taken his time on that one. In that situation, you might want to run at the runner before choosing where you throw. But high-pressure situations, it's just hard to make that play.
That was a very similar scenario as Ryan Bachman takes the ball. It's a very similar scenario to Kyle Finn in that first inning where he had an opportunity to run at runners that were caught up at the same base and instead threw behind them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very similar situation to that. And, you know, Trusner, it seemed like he had caught the ball initially at first, but just unable to really get the transition from his glove to his hand. Sometimes after you pick it, that can become a little bit tougher. A lot of dirt in the glove.
That 3-1's low, and I'll be a walk for Bachman. Back-to-back runners reach. 2 on, no outs, and I'll bring up Patrick Rakes.
It's Bachman's 20th walk of the season. He's got a great eye at the plate. Rakes 0 for 4 tonight. Big spot for him in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Had a slow start to this homestand. He can deliver here. He did pick up some hits yesterday. Started out slowly yesterday. Struck out the first 2 times, but then recorded hits in each of his next 4 at-bats.
Aiden Escobar, a big presence on the mound. You best believe he will be animated if he can figure out a way out of this one with runners on first and second, no outs.
Rakes cuts and misses. We've seen today there is a swing and miss in Patrick Rakes. His game has had a couple strikeouts, 4 so far this series.
0-2 pitch here. Let's see if Escobar goes outside the strike zone.
In the dirt.
Yeah, he got a check swing from Patrick Rakes, burying the curveball. A nice pitch, a little bit risky, making Mason Lang work to keep the runners at first and second in a tie ball game.
Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that. It's still got a couple balls to work with. He does. Rakes gets under it, shallow center field. All 3 defenders converging. It'll be Tyler Hoffman who will make the grab. big first out for Angel Escobar.
Great communication by Tyler Hoffman out there in shallow center field. Buck snaps, perhaps losing it a little bit. Normally the shortstop has the right to call that one off. Hoffman clearly, I got it. He was tracking it the whole way. And for a guy who hasn't played the infield for most of the year, really impressive stuff.
Now it's Dylan Darnall. A couple hits to his name in his first 2 at-bats, including a solo shot. So get under that one and send that one over towards our merchandise tent.
Well, the first out with runners on first and second, that's the biggest one, because even a ball that moves the runners from second to third, then the Sasquatch in a position where they could try and squeeze a run home or put a ball in play. Now an out, the force is still intact.
That one misses. You know, a little surprised to see, even though Patrick Rakes has a big bat and can hit the ball a long way. Interesting to see, maybe just wants to try to put down a little sacrifice to move the runners over. Chopped over to third, it'll be foul.
Well, Dylan Darnall's already got a couple RBIs tonight, a solo home run off of Brady Glenn coming back in the third. If you're the Sasquatch, this is who you want at the plate right now.
With Kyle Finn on second, not the fastest guy on the Sasquatch. A hard hit ball into right, you really have to press the issue to send him. Good cut at that one. We'll foul it away. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both teams 10 runs on 12 hits. Bottom half of the 8th. Sasquatch with 3 errors to the Zap 2.
I think that pitch caught a little more plate than Escobar was intending. 1-2 count. He might try and bury a curveball on this one and try and get a chase.
He'll get that chase right there. Big out once again. Back-to-back have been sent down. And now Nolan Ackerman will step in. Singled in his last at-bat. 1 for 3 on the day.
Boy, I mean, these are the moments this season. A 10-10 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now 2 runners on, 2 runners out. Nolan Ackerman an opportunity to give the Sasquatch a lead.
Ackerman takes a first pitch strike. It's been back and forth like we mentioned all day. The Sasquatch at the end of 3 were up 6-3. Then the Zap battle back. The Zap were up 10-7. Now here we are tied at 10. There's the back pick over to Finn, and he'll take off to third. They're going to wave him home. Ball's into center field. The throw, and not in time. Kyle Finn scores on the miscues from the Zap, and the Sasquatch lead 11-10.
That's a mistake you can't make if you're the Oahe Zap. You don't check. I know Kyle Finn, a big jump off of second. That is a risky throw down to second base. As soon as Finn saw it, he was heading towards third. The throw gets into center field. That is an inexplicable mental mistake by Mason Lang.
That one popped coming towards this press box, and will hit a little scooter over there.
You understand the aggression, but in a moment like that, a tie ball game, Escobar's been pitching well. You let your pitcher go at the hitter.
I mean, if they connect on that throw, they have Kyle Finn hung out to dry. Looks like took his eye off the balls. That one's in the dirt. Scampering over to third is Ryan Bachman. And now he's just 90 feet away from a big insurance run. You would expect Aiden Torpy to be out there in the 9th. No one up in the Sasquatch bullpen. Looks like Mason Lang will talk with Angel Escobar. Yeah.
Well, the Zap now will have 3 outs to work with at the plate. It will be Curiel, and then the top of the lineup for the Zap, Jackson Mix, Tyler Hoffman, Leandro Guevara if they get there. I mean, that's who you want coming to the plate if you're the Zap.
2-2 lined into left field. That will get through. Nolan Ackerman delivers for the Sasquatch. A big insurance run, and now they lead 12-10 here in the 8th.
Yeah, a huge hit there for Ackerman. I mean, the Zap now, if it's a one-run ball game, you can afford to play small ball, get a runner on, try and push him over and scratch him across. Now a two-run ball game, much more difficult for the Zap with 3 outs to play with.
Danny Cook will step in. He's had 4 balls put in play, all been hit hard, and he'll cut and miss there. It was Nolan Ackerman who started off that 3-run rally in the 7th. They got a couple quick outs from Jacob Skinner and some timely hitting from the Sasquatch.
It's got to be frustrating if you're Angel Escobar. I mean, that play really does throw your rhythm off. It almost feels like you're coming into a new at-bat. And yes, you give up the hit after that, but you wonder what would have happened.
Here's the 0-2 to Cook. Chopped up the middle. That will get through. How about what a day for Danny Cook. Hit number 4. This man was just in high school a few months ago, folks, and he is really getting into a groove here in Spearfish, South Dakota. And now possibly even more dangerous hitter, and Ben Green steps in.
Yeah, Ben Green. It's on the wrong hitter there. Yep. Ben Green, 1 for 3 on the day. He reached back in the 7th on an error by Tyler Hoffman at second. Couple of RBIs.
That was that error that proved very costly from Tyler Hoffman. Made a great play at it, just throw just a little low. Green falls behind 0-2. Torpy has some insurance in that 9th inning. If you're the Sasquatch, want to get as many runs as possible. With the way this game's going, 2 runs doesn't feel as comfortable as it should. That's low in the dirt. Ackerman almost thought about going to third.
Great stop there by Lang behind the plate. I mean, you make the mistake earlier, but to be able to come back, continue to stop the balls in the dirt. I mean, you get a few of them from Escobar. He loves to bury the curveball, and for good reason. Gets a lot of swings and misses on it, but it makes it tough for a catcher.
That one skips away from him. Don't know if that hit the dirt or the bottom of Lang's glove, but both runners will advance. Base hit now could deliver 2 more runs for the Sasquatch, who went into the bottom half of the 7th, trailing 10-7, now leading 12-10. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for Ben Green. The pitch fouled straight back to the netting.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Green with what I would say is to blow the game open. I mean, 4 runs in the 9th. That is a monstrous hole. 2 runs is manageable. Escobar still continuing to battle now. 2-2, 2 outs.
Escobar, 27 pitches last night. Next pitch will be his 30th of the inning. That's low. Almost skips away from Lang. Keeps it close enough. Count will go full. Top the order and Seth Nelson due up. Should this inning continue, he has 2 hits to his name.
Well, that creates the question of who's going to be next. Will Escobar stay in for the bottom of the 9th if the game reaches that point? No one up in the Zap bullpen for now, but they would have time to warm someone next inning.
And that misses. Ben Green draws a walk. Bases loaded now for Seth Nelson. Nelson was the one who tied the game up in the 7th, and his entire time running to first, he was chirping back at the umpire. We'll see if he has another big moment in him. Second-year player here in Spearfish. Ackerman on third. Cook on second. Ben Green on first. Seth Nelson at the dish here. That one's in there.
Escobar finding the outside corner there with the fastball. Nelson 2 for 5 on the day, and RBI coming back in the 7th.
Big cut and a miss from Nelson, quickly behind 0-2. Has gone down via the strikeout a couple times today.
This is a spot where you have to be careful if you're Escobar. Yes, it's an 0-2 count, but with a runner on third, you want to be careful not to make it too hard for Lang.
Fouled straight back.
Yeah, Escobar not messing around there. He went middle, attacking Seth Nelson. Wouldn't be surprised to see if Escobar elevates a fastball here, try and gets it above the zone.
Nelson just poked a 2-strike ball in the 7th inning through that 5-6 hole. He has that open to him should he want it. You see Mix now getting a little more towards that hole. Fouled away. So we'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded here. What a game it has been. Could not ask for a more exhilarating game. I mean, what haven't we had? We have intensity, home runs, doubles, misplays, big hits.
And Vince Palizzi is looming on the Zap bench.
Fouled away again. If you're the Zap, would definitely want to get Palizzi an at-bat should you need to, especially with a runner on, with his power.
It might take until Jacob Trusner to get him that at-bat, though. Curiel, you like him leading off the inning. A lot of speed on the base paths. Mix Hoffman Guevara, you're not going to pinch hit there, but Trusner might look to see Palizzi come in the 4 spot in the lineup.
So Seth Nelson putting together a good at-bat, 1 and 2. He's had 3 foul balls with 2 strikes, not giving in to Angel Escobar. About to throw his 38th pitch of the inning. That's away. So deuces are wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Seth Nelson, big opportunity. Tied this game up in the 7th. The pitch is low. Nowhere to put him. There is now 3 and 2. Runners will be on the move here.
Escobar's not going to mess around here. I expect Nelson to have a pitch to hit over the middle. We'll see what he does with it.
Here's the 3-2. Fouled straight back again. The at-bat will continue.
Yeah, that fastball on the inner third. Once again, it'll be interesting to see, does Escobar go back to the fastball? It could be a, I'm going to give you one to hit. Can you do it?
About to be the 10th pitch of this at-bat. Seth Nelson, Angel Escobar, the 3-2. Up the middle will get down. 2 runs will come across. Going over to third is Ben Green. What a hit for Seth Nelson. 4-run lead for the Sasquatch. What a day it has been.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Fastball middle. Seth Nelson not trying to do too much with that ball. Roping it right back up the middle. The Sasquatch now out to a 14-10 lead. They've scored 7 runs over the past 2 innings.
You said it to perfection right before. Escobar wasn't going to mess around. Gave Nelson a pitch to hit. And Nelson capitalized. What an at-bat. 11 pitches from Seth Nelson. Now it's Gastisha. Hitless in his day. We'll get time. Still no one up in the Zap bullpen. It is a ghost town down there. They are letting Angel Escobar work through this. Pitch count north of 40 this inning.
Yeah, Escobar will have a couple days off after this, but he's got to finish it up tonight. And the way things are going, if it goes to the bottom of the 9th, I would expect to see Escobar back out there.
Still a couple runners on for the Sasquatch ad. There goes Nelson, and he'll get in there without a throw. Ball on the pitch right there. So Nelson swiping his 2nd bag of the game. What a day he's had. He's been on base 4 times. He's driven in 3 runs. Gastisha hits one hard down the right field line. That will fall. That will bring in 2. Gastisha rounds first, heading to 2nd. He's going to hold there. A 2 RBI double for Braden Gastisha. First of the day, but none bigger right there.
Yeah, Gastisha turning on that one, crushing it out towards the right field corner. I mean, there's not much you can do if you're Angel Escobar trying to fight through the bottom of the 8th inning. You put 2 runners on, first and second. With no one out, you battle back to get 2 outs. A little bit of frustration now as the Air scored the first run of the inning. Now, I believe, 3 consecutive hits?
Yeah, 5 consecutive base runners, yes, but 3 consecutive hits right there for the Sasquatch. Kyle Finn comes in. Kyle Finn who led things off. I mean, we were very close to getting out of this inning scoreless. Snab's unable at second to see the ball into his glove. That allowed Kyle Finn to score, and then the wheels fell off. Danny Cook with the hit, Ben Green walked, and then Nelson and Gastisha back-to-back 2 RBI knocks. Brings us here 16-10. That one misses.
Just a side note, Aiden Torpy has been on the bench for quite a long time. Long bottom of the 8th inning, still no action up in the Sasquatch pen. We'll see how he comes out in the top of the 9th, but he will have a 6-run cushion at the minimum.
Yeah, we haven't even seen Torpy himself getting loose in that pen. You maybe just to throw the ball around to stay warm. Definitely a point of possible concern in that top half of the 9th. That one's low.
Julius Cass now up in the Zap bullpen. You know what? No, it's Colin Kwandi up in the pen for the Zap.
Finn led this inning off with the base hit in that 5-6 hole. Sends it very high into center field. Curiel Montijo will come in fighting with the lights, but will make the grab. And that will do it, but not before the Sasquatch add 6. Now just 3 outs away from evening this series at 1 apiece. We'll see what Aiden Torpy has in store when we return on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.
Bro, you just can't do that.
You don't need that.
Now goes straight into Baca. It is the win for the Swan Firemen 3-0 record.
Top 9 getting ready here. 3 outs away are the Sasquatch. And picking up a victory here. Aiden Torpy back out on the mound. Fire a first pitch ball here. Curiel Montijo, who back in that 7th inning brought home RBIs on a single into right. That misses.
Oh, called for a strike.
So they're going to call that one a strike. My mistake.
Not sure if they were calling it on the swing. I would imagine that would be a check down to first, though.
That one chopped over. Darnell moves back on it. Tough hop. Strong throw over to first in time. Good adjustment right there from Dylan Darnall.
Yeah, interesting to see Darnall taking a step back instead of charging in on the ball. Took a tough hop low on Darnall, but he stayed down on it well, as you said. Very strong throw across the diamond to get the first out of the inning.
So I'll turn the batting order over. Jackson Mix will get yet another at bat. Number 6 on the night. That one chopped. Darnell's going to have to move in on this one. It's going to be a tough play. That throw's not in time. So Jackson Mix will pick up his third hit of the night.
Mix has moved into the leadoff spot quite nicely. That's where he's been this past week. At the start of the season, he's been ranging between 2 and 3. Not necessarily the most speed, but boy, does he get on base. And not bad moving down the base paths, as shown there on the infield single. He'll pass the baton to Tyler Hoffman.
Hoffman had a sac fly back in that 7th inning. Don't forget, folks, stay tuned shortly after this with the GP Local postgame show. With a win, we will have a player of the game up here in the press box to talk about, chat with about this roller coaster of a game. 26 runs, 29 hits between the two squads. That one catches the corner. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, back-to-back games were in here 9:30 at night. That's what happens when, like you said, you have 29 hits between both teams.
Yeah, we had 24 yesterday. You know what that's going to mean? We're going to have a classic pitcher's duel tomorrow.
Well, it should be Jacob Swallow on the mounds for the Oahe Zap tomorrow. He'll look to rebound after a tough outing against the Casper Spuds.
So 1-2 count now. Out one, called, third strike. Hoffman will go down looking. Aiden Torpy, his third strikeout of this appearance, and now the Sasquatch just an out away. Now he'll have to get through Leandro Guevara.
Guevara's put together a nice evening, 2 for 5 with an RBI. His base hits coming in the 5th and 6th.
That first one in there, called strike. Couple hits to his name, 2 for 5. He'll chop that foul. Just like that, Sasquatch a strike away from taking this one. It'll be the Squatch. Hold on. We'll have the rubber match tomorrow, 6:05 p.m. start time. We'll start our stream around our normal time at 5:40. Hope to see the voice of the Sasquatch, Ari Wall, back in his spot, dealing with some illness. Can you blame him? Lots of games, lots of high emotions. Got to use that voice. Here we go. Oh, no balls, 2 strikes to Guevara. And that one does not get the call. That one did look a little tad inside. Ackerman did his best to bring that one back. To freeze Guevara. The 1-2. Skied out of play.
Great 2-strike approach here from Leandro Guevara as the Zap are down to their final strike, just continuing to foul balls off, staying alive here against Torpy.
Not giving in, putting up great at-bats this entire night. The 1-2. Fly down the left field line, but will hook out of play and just over the Zap bullpen. So we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Torpy trying to pick up a win here.
Yeah, the breaking ball just sped up the bat of Guevara a little too much, as that one going foul down the left side. See if Torpy goes back to the fastball.
Torpy comes set. Mix over there on first after the infield single. Fouled away again. Just like Seth Nelson and Leandro Guevara putting together a really nice at-bat.
Doesn't want to be the final out in this game. What it's been a hard-fought battle between both sides, and you've seen the energy from both dugouts. Both teams really want to take this one. That'll make tomorrow night's game so interesting.
Fouled away again. Almost caught a piece of, looks like our photographer, Sean Waffelt. So we saw Seth Nelson have an 11-pitch single Back in the top half of the ninth. It's about to be the ninth pitch of the at-bat from Torpy to Guevara. Just gets a piece of that one.
So now we'll see a 10th pitch of the at-bat, and the funniest thing is the count's only 1-2.
Yeah, 6 two-strike foul balls for Guevara. I gotta think he's gotta continue with that slider. That's what's giving Guevara the most troubles. The 1-2. Foul away again for you MLB The Show players. He's just pressing the contact swing where you can't get him out. There's bugs in the game where they foul everything off. That's what that Seth Nelson at-bat felt like. That's what this Guevara at-bat feels like. Torpy has a big grin on his face.
This might be the longest at-bat of the year for any Zap player now. An 11th pitch coming.
Torpy comes set. That ball is put in play over to Ryan Bachman on to first in time, and the Sasquatch come away victoriously. 16-10 the victory. Aiden Torpy picking up the win, throwing 2 scoreless innings to end it. Timely hitting from the offense. Seth Nelson, what a day he had. 3 hits, 3 RBI, also a couple stolen bags. But what an all-around great game this was.
Yeah, and if you're the Oahe Zap, you got to take away the positives from this one. It's a tough loss. They were up 10-7 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, giving up 9 runs over the 7th and 8th. But listen, they put up 10 runs on 13 hits. They continued to build off of what was a successful day yesterday. That needs to be the message from Coach Jamie Haberger out there. Sorry, I know I'm focusing on the Zap. We're on the Sasquatch broadcast here. On the other side of the ball, this seems to be a signature win for the Sasquatch.
Yes, it was. Sasquatch suffered a tough loss yesterday, but great bounce back win. It should be even a greater game tomorrow. Remember, 6:05 start time. Stream will start around 5:40, but Mr. Epstein, it was a great game to call. I got thrusted into this position and had a lot of fun. Got to be one of the most exciting Sasquatch games we've had this year, so couldn't have been a better game for me to call. But I had a great time with you. Well, I'm expecting you to be with Ari tomorrow, but should be a great game. 6:05 start time. And stay tuned. In just a few minutes, we'll have the GP local postgame show here on tap. like to welcome you back to the press box. I'm here with our Landmark Realty player of the game, Danny Cook. Danny, 4-hit night. Even the one out you had was hit hard. What was working for you in the batter's box?
I'm just trying not to get behind the pitcher, looking for a pitch to hit. Looking for one pitch, and if he came that way, even though when I got out, I was looking for that one, so just missed it.
And even after a tough loss yesterday, you guys bounced back in a great way. The offense has really shown up since coming back from Oahe. How do nights like tonight carry over to the next game and throughout the rest of this season?
Well, it's kind of a hitter's mindset. You get a good hit, you're on fire, and if you don't get a hit, you have a higher likelihood the next time. So you just got to carry that over night to night, and then if you have a bad night, just forget about it.
You were on base during that 11-pitch at-bat with Seth Nelson and Angel Escobar, and then he finally delivered on that 2 RBI single. What was going through your head after foul ball after foul ball?
I just hope he wins it, and I have confidence in him. We all have confidence in him, so we know he's going to deliver at the right times, and he did.
And we saw both teams with very high energy from both sides. How's the dugout atmosphere been as you all got to know each other since you've arrived, since you came a little late here?
They're very, very energetic. They all want to win, and a little chirping. But, I mean, what college team doesn't do that? So.
And you just graduating from high school just about a month and a half ago, getting ready for Pepperdine, but you've seamlessly made a great and a quick change to swing it with the wood bat. How has that progressed throughout your time here and things you've learned from some of the older guys in the dugout?
Yeah, good advice. Just like attack early, get your pitch to hit from a couple guys, and then wood bat, you just got to find the barrel or else you'll know if you didn't. But it's been great just seeing these arms, and you get used to it. So. Starting to get used to it.
Well, it was a really good game, really fun watching you. A 4-hit performance for Danny Cook. As Sasquatch wins 16-10. Make sure to tune into the rubber match of this 3-game set tomorrow at 6:05 p.m. Stream starting at 5:40 p.m. I've been Stephen Hoagie-Camp, filled in for Ari Wall today, who dealing with a little bit of sickness. Hopefully he'll be back and ready to go. Danny, it's Margaritaville night. I see you didn't have a lay, so we'll hand that off to you. I know you're not of age, so I'm not going to say get a margarita tonight, but a great game, and we expect another high offense game tomorrow, 6:05 p.m. Make sure to tune in here on the Spearfish Sasquatch YouTube.